Ugh. Looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. Josie Selmaxing. Congratulations, you were first. This is some cringy shit. You farted and you're gay. Well, congratulations.
I walked in at the right
time. I'm reviewing a Earthling Ed debate tonight. Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how all these really big activists are all terrible at debating?
Yeah. How many gallons of cum have you produced in your life? I don't know. Probably a fair bit. Do I go live randomly or routinely? I'm live pretty much every night. Yeah, he mentioned but vegans own iPhones and shit in the title, so I thought that'd be an interesting debate to review. Get out. No. Finn once on my lap. And, Joey debated an ex-vegan. I thought that was interesting. So we're gonna review those, but first, some nonsense.
Okay. Walk me through this.
This is the baddest electric vehicle you've ever been in.
Let's go.
This is our only prototype, so don't hurt it.
Okay.
We're gonna have some other opportunities for you to turn it up. This is just to give you a good taste of asphalt. We'll move to a gravel rally type application and then to like a desert application. We're gonna try out all the flavors. This is just the fun stick, the handbrake. Can you dig it?
I'm digging it.
Okay, man. Well, I'll go through the operational procedures with you right now.
Am I considered intersectional? No.
Anything happens, electronic smokes comes out, anything like that, you've got the emergency shutdown right there. You shouldn't need to touch it for any reason. We have numerous kill switches on it. It meets the highest safety standards. You need to have your foot on the brake, and you'll go from this P position, and you'll just press D. Go accelerate relatively hard, brake relatively hard, get a good feel for the steering, and then we'll build up into driving a little bit harder after that. You got this, man.
Thank you so much.
That'd be interesting, not having any clutch or anything, or shifter.
Just feels like $1 million.
Like just a pedal and a handbrake.
No way. Whoa. Oh my god, it turns so nice. Whoa. No way. This is crazy power.
I wonder how that thing drifts, if you can actually control it in a drift. That'd be fun. Caleb, what's up?
Wow, the throttling and the control on this is insane.
That's what I do.
Oh, shit.
What we're going to do is simply change over to the gravel tire setup, take this thing up and go play in the dirt a little bit.
Wow. I feel like I'm talking to Michelangelo, Da Vinci.
He's the meanest charger I've ever
back of Ken Block as a playground for him and his family to enjoy. Very high quality rally cross track, big jumps, sliding corners, and I think it's a great place for you to taste the Echo and get your driving skills up to par, and this is the place to do it.
What an honor. I'm so grateful for you and his family having us out here.
Yeah. So this is the Sierra
Am I
Echo.
growing
This
a
is the
mustache?
latest iteration of
No,
the first
I don't know what
EV
that
model
is.
of the Sierras that we've ever built. We're so happy with it. That's all we're building is a lot more electric vehicles going forward. This is the full race version. Lucy Block, Ken's wife, drove this at Pikes Peak at the big international hill climb a few months ago.
How much are these? 39,000. All right. Yeah, if you had your own property and you wanted to try rally racing, this would be pretty sweet.
She killed it. What we've got you set up with right now is the gravel setup. It's perfect for tearing up this type of terrain. A lot of suspension travel for doing big jumps. It's the latest and
Take the
greatest
floof
Sierra, all
off.
the best technology and engineering that we have, partnered with Hypercraft with their electric powertrain.
This is a race car, right? This is pro level. This is as crazy as it gets. I'm hearing that in the near future, this might be more of a consumer option. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, 100%. The goal with Sierra has always been to offer really high quality driving experience and minimize the cost in doing so. We're going to have essentially this car at a 30.
Oh no.
Yeah, it seems like it has a big tendency to oversteer.
A new day is dawning, the wind sweeps the grass, bees suckle the flowers, I suckle some ass. It's time for my breakfast, cheeks full of hot dung, my penis starts growing, beat it till it's numb. That's how my day started. Did you like my poem? Jasmine Poop.
Yes, that was a beautiful poem. Thanks for the donation and sharing that with us, Microwave Poop. Appreciate it. Yeah, like the weird thing is you have to control these slides with like just a pedal and handbrake. You don't have a clutch and you don't have any gears, so I'm sure it's like kind of difficult. Because you can't just like go into, second around a corner and kind of limit the amount of power you can put down.
Oh, so close. And I see exactly what you're talking about now.
I need you to skip the course and do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And cover this way again.
So he's saving $22. I beat Cyberpunk 2077 after 65 hours, and it's probably the best, most legendary game of all time. Has 7 endings. Best one is secret ending. Worst one is the devil ending / giving up. Malev was born on June 10th. I really liked Cyberpunk a lot. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite game ever, but I really, really liked it. I think it's underappreciated. And it's mostly underappreciated because of like dumb console babies and people having like wrong expectations for the game. A lot of people thought it was going to be GTA 5, but in the future, and again, a lot of people on consoles, yeah, the game sucked on consoles, especially like PS4 and Xbox One or whatever. But on PC, it was always good.
last night, City?
Should be back in the homeland by 2 a.m.
Yeah. What about you? Get your ticket out yet?
I hear the government's sealing a deal.
I told you. You're the president's favorite. You're gonna walk out of this on a red carpet.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, you deserve it. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm thinking about right now?
Tell me.
Taco stand back home. First thing I'm gonna do when I get off this train is head right there. I swear those quesadillas come to me in my dreams.
Place sure sounds tasty.
Yeah. You were the one that took me there in the first place?
Yeah, I remember now.
Well, listen, when this is all over, you gotta take a break, you hear me? Tell me, do you copy? So me, we got a passenger and he's carrying. I think we might be compromised. Can you hack the trap? Show me.
So me, you want a pill? So me. Excuse me, Madam President.
Pill? It's going to be a long flight.
No, thank you.
I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for you.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for Phantom Liberty. Should be good. I really loved Cyberpunk. It was a great game. Yeah, I still think it's really underappreciated, but thanks for the donation saving. Found a dick in my scrambled eggs once, but then I remembered I forgot to take mine out before eating. Do you care about a woman's sexual partners if you were romantically interested in a girl? I've heard you say things like there's double standards. I mean, to some extent it matters. If I found out like a girl had, I don't know, like 200 plus sexual partners, that's maybe a red flag. But kind of depends on the context. I don't necessarily care. It's the point I've made. Favorite Nirvana song? What's the one from the Batman? The Fish Have No Feelings. And yeah, I listened to Gojira. Gojira's sick. Thoughts on Israel Palestine? Israel's committing an apartheid against Palestine. It's my basic thoughts on that. Yeah, it really oversteers.
Oh shit. Oh my god, I can't breathe. I got dirt in my mouth. All right, we're going to the big boy.
Thanks for the twinkle VG, one more for everyone. Corn for all.
All right, let's do some twinkling. Thank you, Corn Man. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. In the dark blue sky you keep, and often through my curtains peep. For you never shut your eye till the sun is in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. As your bright and tiny spark lights the traveler in the dark, though I know not what you are. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Well, thanks again, Corn Man. Hope you enjoyed that twinkling.
White track with some jumps. Sierra car. 36. 36. Whoa! Let's go!
I've never jumped a car before, but I have jumped my sidecar. There's a spot in Toronto where it's basically a ramp. The road literally is a ramp, and you can accidentally jump a car pretty easily. And I almost jumped the sidecar. Just the front wheels, the front wheel came up, and then I went back around, and then I just sped up a little faster, and I actually jumped it. It was pretty fun.
Let's go! That was so sick! That was so cool! I can't even do the turn! That was awesome! I gotta do that again. I'm hitting this jump.
Yeah, it's a cool little car. If I win the lottery, I'll get something like that. Alright, let's review some Earthling Ed.
Video. Hi, Sahil.
And I was just curious how you're drawing a line between
Video. Hi, Sahil. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Ed. I have a banner that says, what's your best argument for not being vegan? And we just had a very brief conversation off camera, and I said, please come sit down because I think what you're saying is really interesting. So I'm just wondering if you could repeat almost verbatim what it is that you were just saying off camera a moment ago.
Right. So I was listening to you speak for a while, and it seemed like your argument could boil down to essentially whether you prioritize your pleasure in eating animal products or the immoral treatment of animals and animal exploitation. And I was just curious how you're drawing a line between what form of exploitation we are protesting and taking action against when there's companies such as Apple who exploit people to make the iPhone and harm the environment in the process, or Nike who explicitly use child labor to...
Oh my god, here we fucking go.
I'm defending my empire from this Western degeneracy.
Let me take a look. Oh my god. How is she not banned from social media for, like, promoting anorexia? I don't understand how she's still alive. It's fucking crazy. Thanks for the donation, Tarth Putin. That's pretty fucking nuts. I don't know how she can hold herself up. It's insane. What game are we playing later? Probably RE4 Remake, Separate Ways DLC, in all likelihood.
create some of their materials.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think we should draw the line.
Yeah, so if you're... So the proper response to this is... if you buy animal products, you are committing a rights violation. You're basically paying for an animal to be murdered. If you're buying an iPhone, you are not paying for a rights violation. You could consider some things exploitation, but I don't necessarily consider that a violation of rights. And on top of that, even if even if it's some sort of exploitation that we disagree with or don't want, I'm not convinced that boycotting these products would in any way benefit these employees, because it's not going to do anything to change the labor laws in those countries where these products are being made. And presumably, these workers will end up getting a worse job because the current job they're working in would be the best job that's available to them. Like, everybody chooses the best job that they can, given like the amount of money they make versus working hours versus like hazards and stuff like that. So if you were to like totally boycott iPhones, all these workers working at Foxconn putting these iPhones together, they may end up just having a shittier job. So that's the proper response to that.
Just at veganism, I think that all of these companies and all these issues are problems that should be kind of addressed.
Right.
And we shouldn't just say, look, the only issue is this, when actually there are a myriad of issues that need to be addressed. And so the reason I talk about veganism is if there's a few reasons. Firstly, because it's something that we have a real tangible effect on.
Okay.
When we go, we have that direct choice in front of us. I mean, the problem that we have with just so many of these items that we've mentioned from these companies, it's quite easy to avoid companies like Nike, for example, just by trainers secondhand or from ethical retailers or wherever it may be. But with a lot of products, what we don't have is choice. This kind of corporate. I don't know.
That is insanely fucking stupid. Okay, so he already completely shit the bed. If he's going to acknowledge that, I don't know, buying like an iPhone or buying Nike shoes or something is wrong because of like worker exploitation, and his justification for that is, well, you can't avoid it, so, it's okay since it's unavoidable. Would he say the same thing about an animal holocaust? Like, oh, well, meat's the only option we have, so I'm going to support an animal holocaust because that's my only option. Like, no, like if your option is to either eat meat or eat nothing, the correct moral option would be to eat nothing rather than support a holocaust. Same thing when it comes to something like, I don't know, shoes or an iPhone or something like that. If you think something's wrong, just saying, oh, well, it's unavoidable, isn't like, it's not a justification for it. So he's already shat the bed. Like, again, the correct response is just stating, even though it's exploitation, I don't necessarily consider it a rights violation. And even if it's exploitation that I don't agree with, there's no evidence that boycotting these products would get rid of this exploitation or improve the lives of these workers.
Oligarchy is the right word, but this kind of corporate monopolization of industries and of products means that we as consumers are left with very little choice what we're able to consume. We live in a world where there's a dependency and reliance on so many of these things, and yet, of course, they're developed in so many terrible ways. Right. So we do need to change that. I definitely don't disagree with that. But
Earthling Ed has very similar hair to Greta Thunberg. I just noticed that. It's kind of weird. All right.
But I guess my worry is that we sometimes fall into this notion of like an appeal to futility. What I mean by that is we go, well, there's all of these problems, so why should...
That is totally hypocritical. Earthling Ed is appealing to futility. He's saying, well, oh, these products are unavoidable, so I'm just going to hand wave it away. That's an appeal to futility. So he can't use that argument if, like, he can't criticize, this appeal to futility or tu quo qui if he's going to do it too.
I care about this problem, when ultimately being vegan means just, not eating animal products 3 times a day, and then when you
No, being vegan means you believe animals should have the same rights as human beings. What the fuck is he talking about?
Buy clothes and stuff like that, making sure that they're, not derived from animals.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
And so when you say that there's not as much choice, I think that that's true, but I just to provide a counterpoint.
Please.
There are of course some farms that use what they'd call like sustainable ways of animal living and
Okay, Earthling Ed is lucky that everybody he debates is an absolute fucking moron, because if I were a carnist and he were debating me, or if I was like undercover doing this, I'd make him look like a fucking moron. He probably wouldn't upload the video clip. Like, he's basically saying it's okay to commit something wrong so long as it's unavoidable or you have some kind of ultimatum type choice. I don't know how the fuck he can claim that and then criticize the guy for appealing to futility and saying, or using like a tu quoque and saying, well, oh, there's all these, forms of exploitation. Why are you cherry picking which one to support? Jalen Donny Tillers, Earthling Ed never talks about rights. Yeah, he calls himself an animal rights activist, but he never talks about rights. It's always fucking welfarism. It's tarded. Even Joey Carbstrong does that a lot, where he really focuses on welfarism a lot, and very often completely disregards animal rights. Thanks for the donation, though, Jalen. Appreciate it.
and like are more green farms with bigger pastures and such, right? Which you could call as like an alternative choice. Whereas you could pick a different supplier of clothes, you could pick a different supplier of food or meat.
Well, we definitely should choose different suppliers of clothing when it comes to our fashion choices and such. But I think with the point that you're making about the farming environments, there are certain systems that are more sustainable than others. I'm not necessarily as interested in that aspect.
Right.
I'm more interested in like the ethical aspect. Sustainability is
What do I think the meaning of life is? There's no meaning to life. There's only nihilism. There is no objective meaning to anything.
a big part of it, but I think what I'm interested in is like the notion of an ethical farming system. And so while some systems of farming may be more ethical and sustainable than others, the question is, are these systems of farming in and of themselves the most ethical ones that we can support? Okay. And if they're not, then should we be supporting them when we have a choice for something that would be more ethical? Now in my eyes...
I don't know why he's injecting that term choice. Like, again... You may not consider the choice between eating and not eating a choice. It might be more of an ultimatum, but that is still a choice. So I don't know why he's injecting this idea that, oh, well, if it's unavoidable, then it's okay. Something isn't okay just because that's the only option within, a certain subset of choices. Like if you choose to eat, the only thing you can choose to eat is like meat. Why is that somehow ethical just because that is the only choice within that subset of choices? It's stupid. Like, again, he's completely disregarding animal rights and injecting all of this shit like, oh, well, it's okay if it's like convenient enough, or it's okay if that's the only option. It's undermining the actual idea of animal rights. Jalen Donatillers, are you, Ask Yourself and Avi, the ones who made it rights-based? Yeah, so I think we're at least some of the few people who really used like, a deontological approach to vegan ethics. There's a lack of that in vegan activism. A lot of it is utilitarian. In fact, like Peter Singer is a massive utilitarian and he's a crazy fucking wacko. But yeah, I think we're some of the few to really make deontological arguments for veganism. Thanks for the donation, though, Jalen. I'm not going to claim we're the first ones to think that, but in the movement, I think we're some of the few. Tweeko donated $2. Sneeko and Neon make the weirdest content on God. Neon is the virgin, and I don't know what Sneeko is, but he clearly isn't Muslim. Also, never knew you can purchase lemurs in the U.S. I didn't know that either.
The virgin right here.
Whoa, calm down.
Can this be our new Bible study group?
Alright, I want to convert you all to Muslims.
No, I'm good.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
I just not into that shit. Why? Why do you want us to convert?
Because you guys are on the wrong path. Every single one of you, including you, even though you're nice, but...
I really wish people would just go hard on some of these idiots and be like, why would I want to be part of your, child rapist cult?
You really just want to, your kids are going to see your tits. It's not good.
Who said that I'm having kids?
Oh, you don't want kids?
I would love some kids. First of all, were you breastfed?
I don't know. My mom's a little retarded. She has one leg, so...
That has nothing to do with breastfeeding, but...
I don't know if I did, but...
It's not on the weird shit unless people make it on the...
It is true. Sneeko, maybe fucking help me, bro?
He's too scared. He's too clouded. Remember, he's too clouded. Has too many views.
This is cringe as fuck. Yeah, this guy is just a fucking loser. Let me see the second link.
You guys are fucking inappropriate.
You guys are really inappropriate. You're a witch. Do you practice witchcraft? Wait, why do you ask that? Did the chat say that?
I was asking witchcraft.
Yo, what's chat saying? They're just asking if she's a witch, but okay, what is that necklace you have?
This is from Greece.
Okay.
It's the equal profit, equality.
Why do you ask if she's a...
equal between masculine and feminine energy. I'm a healer though. I'm not a witch. I'm moving to Bali to open a retreat, a holistic wellness and preventative illness retreat.
Like rich people do DMT in the forest and stuff?
No, that's not.
Ayahuasca?
That's not.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed in Bradley Martin for not disavowing people like Sneeko, because Sneeko was supporting Nick Fuentes when he said he wants to Holocaust all the Jews. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed in people like Bradley Martin who are still willing to clout chase and fucking deal with Sneeko. Sneeko at this point is, fucking irrelevant. He's been banned from every platform. He couldn't get, that deal with Kick. It's just, who the fuck cares about him? Yeah, these people are just fucking losers. Thanks, though, Tweeko.
If I eat citrus fruit every day and drink water straight after, will it prevent tooth decay?
So rinsing your mouth out in some way after eating fruit, might be a good idea. You are getting rid of the, sugar that's on your teeth. So you should rinse your mouth out just in general after you eat. That's usually a good idea. So yeah, that'd probably do something to prevent tooth decay. I would just recommend making sure you brush frequently and floss. That's one of the biggest things, if not the biggest thing. Thanks for the donation, though, Sean.
Legal accusing React streamers of violating fair use. Do you think there should be a threshold for fair use when you're reacting to copyright content beyond being present? I personally don't care.
We'll react to this later. Maybe we'll react to this next. Here's the thing, I don't really care necessarily about copyright law. The main ethical issue that's being implied here is that if you're reacting to somebody on stream, the stealing of their content, you basically having their content on your channel, is committing some sort of harm against them in some way, and it's assumed you're stealing their market share. There is no evidence for that. There's evidence to the contrary that sharing content, violating copyright actually benefits the copyright holder because you're giving them free advertising. So when XQC is reacting to somebody on stream, he's only expanding the amount of people who are aware of that content, so they're more likely to consume and watch that content in the future. And there's also like the other issue that people who are watching XQC are watching XQC not because he's stealing other people's content, but they just want to see his reaction to certain content. So he's likely in most cases not even taking away market share because these people aren't interested in watching what he's watching. They're interested in watching him. So yeah, the whole issue around copyright, whether or not it's stealing or not, that's not really the problem. Like, the problem is whether or not you're actually harming a copyright holder by sharing their content in some way. And again, I would say in almost every circumstance, that's not the case. I'm sure there are some cases where you would be, but in those cases, it would be immoral. But in most cases, no, it's just not immoral to quote unquote steal, somebody's content, react to it in a way that's not fair use because you're not harming them. If anything, you're actually benefiting them. So that's my take on it. Thanks for that donation, though, Caleb. Tweaker donated $2. Oh yeah, also, here is the lemur. Sorry there wasn't a better shot. The girl is hot, and I think she is half Indian, half Persian, but her lemur was $12,000, so doubt she is vegan.
Hell? Yeah, go pet it, yeah. All right, let's go. No! Yes, let's go.
Her ass cheeks are coming out of her.
Yeah, I know, W.
No, don't.
Oh, stop freaking out.
Hi. We were just talking about you.
Hey.
Is that a
squirrel?
Is that a monkey?
Oh, okay. What's his name?
Maurice.
Can I pet it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice guy. It's like I like to move it. It's that guy. Oh, okay, great.
Yo, why is he shaking his ass? Oh, I'm checking.
Like his owner. So it's a girl or a boy?
A boy.
A boy, okay. But do you have a boyfriend?
Lemurs are very cute. I really like lemurs.
This guy's a loser. I'm just gonna sit down. What the fuck am I listening to?
Business partner he's not my boyfriend.
Oh, okay. But my friend over here, he thinks you're very cute. I think he would actually take you seriously.
Yeah, she's pretty. I like a lot of Indian girls.
Sorry.
You're not interested in him?
She doesn't like Chinese people. Fuck off.
I'm not. No, it's not. I'm just not.
She has a pretty juicy rear end, too.
Okay.
Oh, you just said don't take no for an answer. Are you
have a good workout.
Yeah, she has a juicy rear end. Sneeko and all of his orbiters are still fucking losers, though. But that's a nice lemur. And yeah, probably not vegan. It's weird. She has a vegan pet. I'm pretty sure they only eat fruits and vegetables. But she's not vegan. Thanks for the donation, though, Tweeko.
The systems that we can support are, and you may have heard me say this to the other person, so I don't want to be repetitive or boring, but just to lay it out for you. The systems of farming that we can really support are factory farming and plant-based farming. Now, there is other systems like grass-fed, pasture-based farming, but mostly we're supporting factory farming and plant-based farming because factory farming is responsible for like 99% of farmed animals in the US.
I don't know why he's really making this point. Again, it's a welfarist argument. It doesn't really matter if it's factory farming or like a smaller hobby farm or grass-fed organic. The issue is that in all of this farming, their rights are being violated. So just mention that. Just say there's no ethical type of animal farming because you're violating the rights of these animals regardless. But instead, he goes on rants about factory farming and how bad it is compared to some other types of animal agriculture. And then just says, yeah, you can't really avoid, factory farming. So just do, just eat plants.
Don't be a free agent in life. Let the black pill guide you.
I don't think so. I'd rather not be a sexless loser, but thanks for the donation, Turbo Black Pill. Yeah, so, like, I'm sure he kind of manipulates people unintentionally into thinking that, oh, well, I'll just be extra careful with the meat I eat and make sure I'm getting it from, like, local farms and crap. Because he's literally just giving people this idea that, the real issue is welfarism, and since he doesn't mention, these rights violations, they still only just consider welfarism.
But anyway, let's say that we have free choices. Let's say that we have factory farming, non-factory farmed animals, and plant-based farms to support.
Out of curiosity, what do you think a right is, and where does it come from? A right is something that is granted. You could consider it a freedom or liberty or protection under the law. And it has to be granted by the government and enforced, or a government-like system anyway. So that's what I'd consider a right. So again, I don't know why people really have to ask me that, but if you believe in human rights, I just want animal rights or human rights for animals.
Ethically speaking, the one that reduces suffering and harm the most would be the plant-based system. And so that's why I think, morally speaking, that's the one that we should choose, because that choice is in front of us.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, in a case where an animal, like in farms where the animal that was going to die from other means, whether natural or, other natural means, and those animals are eaten, what is, I guess, in sustainable farming, or farms that supposedly use greener pastures and more room, are those animals also killed just for the use of food, or do they die and then that food is then used for people?
No, they're slaughtered prematurely. The thing is, if we waited for animals to die, there would be a few problems. Firstly, they would live for a long time, so financially can't work, because farmers can't afford the feed costs, and they also need to make money. So the longer the animal's kept alive, the longer they have to wait before they get their payday from the slaughtering of the animal. So the animals are killed at a certain time because of financial reasons, but also for taste reasons. The longer an animal is alive,
Well, not exactly. So, at least with cows cannot be kept alive for a certain amount of time and it be safe to eat them. It massively increases the risk of them getting something like mad cow disease. So, if you ever go to some of these slaughterhouses, you can see that when they slaughter dairy cows that have gotten to, a higher age because they're not used for, meat, they're used for, milk, they actually have to dispose of them differently because there's such a high risk of them having mad cow disease. So it's not just it's not just for cost reasons or, what did he mention, like taste? There's actually other practical health concerns when it comes to eating older animals. They're at least in the case of cows, they're way more likely to have a disease like mad cow.
The tougher the meat becomes. In the UK we eat lambs, but they're killed at like 5 months. When they get to 1 year old, just 12 months old, they're called mutton because it's a less desirable choice of meat. It's tougher, harder, not as nice. So we kill them at a certain age because of taste pleasure. And also, if we allowed them to get old, they would die from natural diseases which may be harmful to us, bacterial infections, viruses and stuff. So that would make it not safe for human consumption. So even in these systems of farming, which would be quote unquote more ethical, they're still killed at a fraction of their lifespan because of financial, taste and I guess health reasons as well. Now, plant-based agriculture, by the way, is not perfect, and I would never say that plant-based agriculture is devoid of suffering and harm. That's not true. But what it is it's a reduction of it, and what we need to do is further make.
So again, he's only validating this guy's belief that you're just arbitrarily kind of choosing, what sort of suffering, death, or exploitation is okay.
Okay, Lettuce Man critique KSI Fork in his latest video. It's a couple minutes in. Also here's $3 for based on Isian videos back in the day, Pogue Champ.
Give me a link. If you give me a link, I can take a look at the video. But thanks for the donation. 100 OVB OVR Batman Braun. So, yeah, he's only validating this guy's idea that he's just arbitrarily picking and choosing, like, what suffering and death or exploitation is okay. The reason plant agriculture is ethical is because you're not violating the rights of animals when you do it, even if there is some amount of suffering and death that happens in plant agriculture.
Extensions to that reduction, but with the choice that we have, it's a reduction. So I think the statement that I would make is that where we have a choice to reduce animal suffering, that reduction is the morally preferable choice we should make, i.e. the intentional causing of unnecessary animal harm is morally wrong.
And plants being...
Yeah, so it's not necessarily wrong or contradictory to say, like, yeah, the choice you should make is something that causes less suffering and death, but again, if he's not going to point out that doing this isn't wrong inherently, even though there is some sort of suffering and death involved, he's validating this guy's viewpoint that he's just arbitrarily, picking and choosing what sort of suffering or death or harm is, acceptable. Like, Ed has not done anything to actually show that eating plants is not unethical. He's validating this guy's view that it is still unethical. That's the problem.
Potentially the most reduction we can do in the system we are currently would be your argument.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can completely see where you're coming from. I just think that when I came here, I was expecting your argument to be more about the necessity of something like an iPhone, where like...
Dodo $2. What happened the last 20 minutes of the game yesterday? I missed it also. Nothing really. We got to the point where Ada saved Leon in the village by shooting the bell. That's it. Let me take a look. Step back until you see it. What am I supposed to be seeing here?
How should I self-delete tonight?
I don't know, maybe choke on your next meal. Thanks for the donation, My Chemical Prolapse.
Jesus Ayala.
This teen apparently expected a slap on the wrist for his alleged role in mowing down a 64-year-old retired man who was out on his morning bike ride. I'll be out in 30 days, I'll bet you, 18-year-old Jesus Ayala reportedly told cops when he was arrested. It's just hit and run, slap on the wrist. He apparently expected to be treated as a juvenile. Instead, he's getting a rude awakening, finding himself here being tried in adult court. Prosecutors say Ayala and his 16-year-old buddy, Jasmir Keys, recorded the cold-blooded...
These kids are fucking degenerate psychopaths, and they should be put away for the rest of their life. They should never, ever get out of prison.
act that was posted online. Meanwhile, the family of the dead cyclist, Andreas Probst, is speaking out.
Andy's life was robbed by two individuals who did not believe that lives of others matter.
Probst was a retired police chief from a small town in California. He rode his bike every morning to stay in shape.
His death should be treated in the same way he lived, with honor and integrity.
Yeah, they should get a life sentence with no possibility of parole. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Yeah, Biden is pretty black. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Phones are important to how we live in society, and there's probably not been very many ways to get access to technology without having a phone.
That's true as well. Yeah.
Whereas food, the argument you made earlier, is not necessarily meat products as something that we have to have at all times. So yeah.
And so where does that?
You don't have to have any of it. Again, if you're going to recognize that something is wrong, but then you say, oh, but, having a phone or a computer, it makes life so much easier for me, so I'm just going to have it anyway. You could make that same argument for meat. Eating meat is wrong, but, it's so much harder finding, mock meats that I actually like. I don't really like any of them, and it's my favorite food, and it's really tasty, so I'm just gonna eat meat anyway. You could make that same fucking argument. Again, Ed is so lucky that he only ever debates retards.
Does that leave you with this decision? Because I guess obviously I've told you a lot about how I feel.
Right.
I'm interested to know how you feel. Is veganism something you would consider?
Vegetarianism is something that I was for 15 years of my life. And then at some point I started eating meat. This was kind of like my parents telling me we're vegetarians, but you can choose at some point. And I have...
Do you think that a lot of vegan debaters are too meek? It seems like a lot of people spend too much time with pleasantries and saying, oh, I can get where you're coming from, and letting people walk all over them.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are not combative enough, and I'm fine with being combative. And yeah, just a lot of people aren't. So they'll say shit like this so that they don't offend anybody, so that they don't get on anybody's nerves, and they want the entire discussion to be cordial when maybe it shouldn't be. So yeah, I do think a lot of people have that problem when it comes to vegan debates. Again, they're your adversary, they're not your friend, and you need to destroy them. That's what you should be thinking. Thanks for the donation though, Vegan Burger, appreciate it. Dodo donated $2. The image I sent you says obey. Also, I have to cut down on my donations because I'm spending too much money. It really adds up a lot. Sorry, I will donate, but less. That's fine, dude. Also, watch. Let me see. This is just going to be stupid, right? It's going to be from the food's perspective. Not funny. Attack'ems. Dude, that is so cool.
Ukrainian forces have repeatedly asked the U.S. for these. They're the Army Tactical Missile System, ATACMS for short. These missiles can come equipped with a 500-pound class fragmentation warhead and have a maximum range of about 190 miles, which could allow Ukrainian forces to reach further into Russian-held territories inside Ukraine, including Crimea. In September, U.S. officials said they would send a small number of ATACMS missiles to Ukraine in coming weeks, after debating the risk of escalating tensions with Russia and worrying about its small domestic stockpile.
That there is no debate about escalating tensions with Russia. I hate how they're promoting that narrative.
We've been supplying Ukraine with items from our junk drawer, as opposed to the high-end missile capabilities.
Here's how these missiles could speed up Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia, and why the U.S. was initially hesitant to send them.
ATACMS is the Army Field Artillery's.
There's two reasons why the U.S. was hesitant to send them. Has nothing to do with escalating the How the fuck does overwhelming firepower escalate a conflict? It ends a conflict. It's like these fucking pussy morons who are against guns and say, oh, but if you have a gun, it escalates the conflict. No, if you have a gun and you're about to blow somebody's fucking brains out, that ends the fucking conflict. Same thing here. If they get these long-range missile systems and they're able to obliterate Russia, that de-escalates the fucking conflict. I hate how they're fucking promoting this idea that Russia's a nuclear threat. Fucking annoys the shit out of me. It's just because there's not a large stockpile of ATACMS in the US, and the US doesn't want to basically be seen as the world police. So they want, like, Europe to provide most of the military aid. They don't want to really be the one doing it all. Let's see. Josh Dill donated $2. What if those kids used the justification that since the cyclist wasn't vegan, they killed him to prevent more rights violations? Thoughts? That would be a valid reason, but again, if they didn't argue with him and give him an opportunity to change, then that wouldn't be a good argument. And they clearly didn't do it for that. But thanks for the donation, Josh.
Premier surface-to-surface strike system. It allows them to be mobile, to disperse, to hide in terrain and clutter, and to be able to impose certain kinds of uncertainty upon the enemy about where they'll be coming from.
The ATACMS is designed to be launched from a ground vehicle. These missiles are
concerns about Ukrainians.
Despite Ukraine's requests, the U.S. was hesitant to send ATACMS until now.
There was concerns about escalating the conflict with the Russians. There's
No, there wasn't. Shut the fuck up, you ignorant moron.
concerns that the Ukrainians could use these ATACMS that have this long range and target inside Russian territory. But we're also at a point in the counteroffensive, which it's gone a lot slower than anybody expected. And so the U.S. may be digging deeper into its pockets and greenlighting other weapons systems that it didn't want to provide because constraints.
The Biden administration faced increased pressure from Ukraine and Congress to send ATACMS missiles. Last June, Congress signed a bipartisan resolution in favor of sending ATACMS to Ukraine.
Those of Ukraine and Europe writ large.
And the United States just doesn't have a whole lot of these lying around. They've been
Yeah, some of those takes were fucking retarded. Alright, well, thanks for the donation, Dodo. Appreciate it.
Hi VG. Hope you are GR8 tonight. So not only did Governor Newsom have a stupid idea for restricting access to guns, but now he vetoed a bill to protect trans kids.
See, Newsom vetoes bill requiring gender identity to be considered in custody battles. Wow, so basically, if a parent is abusive to their kid, that's not going to play a role? What the fuck? Newsom's a fucking piece of shit. Thanks for the donation though, Ben. Appreciate it.
Gig shows up to apartment with an erect wiggly. Do you let him in, or do you make him sleep on the cold streets? Gigglyardo, 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 gig.
I think for everybody's safety, I'd have to make you sleep on the street. Thanks for the donation though, Gigliardo.
You twin in with those glasses.
The link you gave me is broken and does not send me to anything. But thanks for the donation, Fohammer. Appreciate it.
You don't want to back a big strong man like Putin into a corner. His career and maybe his life and all his respect will be gone if he loses that. Do you really think he will let that happen without very serious consequences?
Yes, because he cannot use nuclear arms. If he uses nuclear arms, the US will get involved and he will be found and killed. So he is never going to use nuclear arms. Thanks for the donation, though, Russia. Appreciate it.
Very much enjoyed eating meat, but like more and more I've felt like we have more of an ethical duty to this world.
Yeah.
We should try to do better things even if it hurts us slightly. Like why should we be here if we're being worse people than we can be? But like I know that I do derive a lot of pleasure from cheeses, butter, milk, even things that aren't specifically meat. And those are not something that I like any of the alternatives to.
Dude, what a fucking
'cause
dairy
I've
fairy.
tried different types of milk and I haven't enjoyed them, or cheeses. So I guess my other question is, I could see myself transitioning to like back to vegetarianism. How much of a jump is that, and is that enough?
No, well, what do you think my answer will be?
Well, it's not enough, but it's better than nothing.
Yes, in theory. I mean, I think what vegetarianism is it's a signal to ourselves that there's something wrong with what we do to animals. It's like an appreciation that there is an underlying issue that we should address.
Right.
The issue of vegetarianism, as you quite succinctly phrased, is it's not doing enough, and I think that's true. You know, the idea of being vegetarian is the idea of opposing animal slaughter. You know, obviously to eat flesh, we have to kill the animal. That's the system that exists, of course.
Putin is strong, the West is weak. Quit coping.
Yes, that's why they're losing the war. Thanks for the donation, though, Russia. Appreciate it.
This cat isn't weak. He's strong. He can kill Putin.
Twinning now.
We should get Prismo to kill Putin. Isn't that right? You'll kill Putin. You'll scratch him good. Get his eyes first.
Thanks for the nation, Russia. Let me see, Fohammer. Oh, I see. Yes, I suppose I do look like the three blind mice, sort of. Thanks for that donation, Fohammer.
But, you know, even dairy cows and egg-laying hens are still slaughtered. You know, they're not slaughtered for dairy and eggs, but they're slaughtered for their flesh when their productivity declines. And so by buying dairy and eggs, we're still facilitating industries that revolve around the slaughtering of animals. And so the inherent suffering and exploitation of animals is found in dairy and eggs. And actually, it can be worse as well. The individual practices can actually be worse. So in terms of reducing suffering, it's not enough.
Right. And this is something that I've definitely...
How much to end stream and watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure right now? 5,000. Pay me 5,000, I'll do it.
come in here not nearly enough information about, and something that I want to learn more about is how those two things differ, is the creation of animal byproducts versus the animal itself. One thing I will ask is, do you think there's a world where we could have animal byproducts in an ethical way?
Could you maybe explain a little bit more?
Like, could we have farms with cows that aren't slaughtered, but also provide us with milk?
Great question. It can't feasibly work. And the reason it can't feasibly work is because cows are mammals, so they produce milk for the same reason humans do, to feed their children, to feed their offspring. So what that means is, for a cow to be producing milk, they have to be in a perpetual system of reproduction. So impregnation, birth, and then that system has to follow. Now, what that means is that there's a constant new birth happening every single year for the cow to continue producing milk. Eventually, two things will happen. You are going to have too many animals that you can't financially afford to look after them, because the more animals you breed into existence, the more feed costs, but also the the more land is used. So if you have 2 acres of land, let's say, these are just rough numbers obviously, and you have a couple of dairy cows, but you need them to keep producing milk, you have to keep breeding them, and eventually 2 acres of land isn't going to be enough.
Right.
So we could never have this system that we're proposing, because fundamentally it revolves around reproduction, and that reproduction means that financially it can't be sustainable, but also from a land resources perspective, it also isn't sustainable, so it couldn't work.
Okay. So then I guess what is the role of animals?
Can we react to President Biden's retarded speech he gave recently about approaching the issue of gun violence?
Of course we can. I'm sure I will get annoyed at this.
I saw some of your previous streams slandering Dr. K. I personally have tried Dr. K's programs and they have helped my depression in a massive way. Also, he's a really smart guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he studied for 2 hours a day. It isn't unheard of.
You have no fucking idea what you're talking about, and you have no idea how stupid you sound. He's not particularly smart. He did not go to one of the best universities in the United States. He went to a low-ranking local university. He's also completely full of shit. You cannot study for medical school for only 2 hours a day. Some of the slides you're given, you have 150 fucking slides to look through, and that's for multiple classes. So he's basically claiming he can look through 100 to 150 slides in only 10 minutes and memorize absolutely all of it, and before the class even starts. So how the hell is that possible? You can't do it. There is literally not even enough time to do that. So no, realistically, the lowest anybody can study for on average for medical school is probably going to be around 5 or 6 hours. There is no fucking way you can study for 2 hours a day in medical school. He is a fucking liar, and he's completely full of shit. Thanks for the donation, though, dude. And the claim that, I took his program, helped my depression. I don't fucking care. Anything can fucking help fix your depression. You could start drinking coffee, and that can improve your depression. What the fuck does that mean? That you took his program and it improved your depression? Gives a shit. Anybody can give you good advice on fucking depression. It's not that fucking hard. If somebody just tells you to go to the gym and fucking exercise, that's one of the most effective ways of dealing with depression. It seems to be at least as effective as modern medication. So, I don't care if his stupid fucking program helped your depression. He's a fucking idiot and a liar. He has made absolutely retarded fucking claims, like him saying he only studied for 2 hours a day in medical school. That's a fucking lie. He's also claimed that Ayurvedic medicine is proven and there's all the science behind it. It's literally what existed pre-science. There's nothing scientific about it. He's also claimed that he thinks meditation is the most effective frontline therapy for almost every mental illness. Again, ridiculous, stupid fucking claim. Thanks for the donation, though, Chad.
This is why normies shouldn't be allowed to have guns.
Let me take a look. Florida man 78 shoots, kills neighbors who were trimming trees over property line, deputies say. I don't know how you could consider this guy to be a normie. I don't even know if this guy legally owned that firearm. He might have. He threatened to shoot Ford, neighbor didn't leave, and then he shot him. I think when somebody threatens to shoot you, you should probably leave. All right, let's watch this stupid Biden thing.
In 2023 so far, our country has experienced more than 500 mass shootings.
That is misleading, so there's no agreed upon definition of a mass shooting. Typically, when people think about mass shootings, they're talking about public shootings that have a political motivation behind them, and that, maybe 3 or more people are killed or injured. So when he uses the stat 500 mass shootings, he's not using that definition. That's just a calculation of all public shootings where 3 or more people got killed. So that would include gang-related shootings where, say, there's a drive-by and 3 or more people got killed. Is that a mass shooting? I don't know. It depends. You can use whatever definition you want. There's no agreed-upon definition, and you can inflate numbers like this.
And well over 30,000 deaths due to gun violence.
Yeah, so the 30,000 deaths due to gun violence, he's including suicides in that statistic. There are not 30,000 homicides per year. And secondly, the vast majority of those, well over 80%, are all related to organized crime.
It's totally unacceptable. It's not who we are. And we have to act. We have to act now. And let me be very clear. If members of the Congress refuse to act, then we'll need to elect new members of Congress that will act.
Yeah, this is the same guy.
I'm not going to take away your guns. I made the damn bill.
In 2020.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah, Biden's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking pussy ass cuck when it comes to guns. That's one thing I absolutely hate about Biden.
Well, my assets in Crimea were attacked. Again. I didn't retaliate with nukes. Again. I guess I lied. Again. I won't move my important naval assets though, that would be weak. I remain a master strategist.
Fucking based. Dude, fucking obliterated. Yeah, I heard about that. Ukraine destroyed the headquarters of the Black Sea Fleet. That's great. Get fucked, Russia. Thanks for the donation, Darth Putin.
Thinking about seriously doing some weight training. Any quick advice on how to start and what type of workouts to gravitate towards in the beginning?
Yeah, so because you're new to it and you don't know what the hell you're doing, you need to follow pre-made programs or get a coach. There's no way you could ever construct a program for yourself as a beginner that's better than a tried and tested sort of cookie cutter program or from getting a program from a coach. So I would just recommend following Starting Strength. You can find the whole program for free online. There's like free PDFs available everywhere. It's effective. It's appropriate for beginners. So you learn basic barbell compound exercises. It teaches you how to be technically proficient in these lifts. It relies on sets of 5, so it's enough volume to grow muscle. It's also good for strength building. And sets of 5s are really good because it gives you enough technique practice with a relatively manageable weight, but you don't generate so much fatigue during a set where you're going to get technical breakdown, which is an issue for beginners. So overall, it's a great program. You could nitpick a few things, but again, it's not a custom program, and most of the criticisms that people have of Starting Strength ignore the fact that it's for beginners. So yeah, there's not a huge exercise selection. It's not a ton of volume. It doesn't focus on every small individual muscle group. There's not like work for your calves and forearms and neck and shit like that. But you wouldn't want that for a beginner. So I would say follow Starting Strength. You should probably be able to follow that program for at least 4 months before you start to stagnate. And then from there, you can just find some more advanced programs. So I would check out Renaissance Periodization after you're finished the starting strength protocol. And again, just make sure you follow it exactly. If you think that you know better than, the people who wrote those programs, you don't. Because again, you're a beginner lifter. A lot of people will remove exercises, change them out with something that's easier, and then you're not going to get results. Just follow the program as it's written. So that's my advice. Thanks for the donation, Omni Vegan. Appreciate it.
Check out this video instead of the Instagram vid of Biden, it's longer.
The first ever White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, the first office in our history.
Yeah, all this is going to do, if it doesn't just target black people, they're just going to take away guns from law-abiding citizens. That's all they're going to do. Like, this is extremely worrying. This is the guy who wrote the crime bill, which incarcerated hundreds of thousands of innocent black people, at the very least.
Created by executive order, I determined to send a clear message about how important this issue is to me and to the country. It matters, and here's why.
You darkies are running around with all your guns, you call it gang banging? Well, I'm gonna bang you now.
After every mass shooting, we hear a simple message, the same message all over the country, and I've been to every mass shooting. Do something. Please do something. Do something to prevent the tragedies.
Yeah, here's something you can do to prevent those tragedies. Have more people own guns. Most mass shootings, most active shooters are actually taken down by legal gun owners. So have more people carry fucking weapons on them if you don't want to see these mass shootings, and prevent these things from being reported on nationally. The reason why mass shootings are so popular in the United States is because there's a culture of mass shooters that like the media attention they're getting when they commit a mass shooting. So those two things, have more people fucking carry firearms so they can shoot and kill these mass shooters when they do fucking, show up, and do something to prevent the news media from talking about this, especially on a national level, because that's what's driving the fucking mass shootings.
That leave behind survivors who will always carry the physical and emotional scars. Families will never quite be the same. Communities overwhelmed by grief and trauma. Do something. Do something. Well, my administration has been working relentlessly to do something. To date, my administration has announced dozens of executive actions to reduce gun violence, more than any of my predecessors at this point in their presidencies, and they include everything from cracking down on ghost guns.
So that literally does absolutely fucking nothing whatsoever. This guy is such a fucking moron. If you're going to regulate homemade weapons, the only thing that's going to do is prevent law-abiding citizens from making homemade weapons. That's it. Criminals do not fucking care if they're committing a crime, you fucktard.
Breaking up gun trafficking, and so much more.
Yeah, Biden is just the gun thing, man. It really shows who's like a virtue signaling cucked pussy.
Will we ever follow Carly Muscle again? I want to know if he is still only doing the watermelons.
No, he's eating other fruits and vegetables now. He's still not eating meat, which is good. But he's done with the watermelon fast. He's incorporating other plant foods. But yeah, we'll check up on him, you know, at some point. Thanks for the donation, Gohan.
React to this.
Let me see.
Circus, liars, joke, self-centered, crap, nasty, toxic, deceit, farcical.
CNN's Abby Phillips just read off a few of the words that Americans most commonly associate with politics in the United States, and that's according to a recent Pew study. Now, you probably have guessed that words like awesome and productive wouldn't show up on a list like that. But even we were a little surprised at how bleak that list was. In fact, let's watch the list.
Well, American politics is an absolute clown show, and clearly most politicians don't have the public's interest in mind, so that's not surprising at all. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Why do you simp for Ukraine so much? Zelensky is an evil globalist elite, and Russia is the only country with the balls to stand up to the West.
Yeah, so the reason I support Ukraine is because I'm not a retarded fucking conservative red pill edgelord. Thanks for that donation, though, Turbo Black Pill.
React to this.
Let me see, Dodo.
Circus, liars, joke.
Okay, we already reacted to that, but thanks again, Dodo. Appreciate it.
I'm convinced Biden hates niggers. Spooked pussy pro gun till thr day I die alarm US the fuck up.
Well, he did write the crime bill, which deliberately targeted black people. So, I am a bit worried about him claiming that he's setting up some like new thing to target gun violence, because again, that sounds like it's going to be another thing to just target black people. Thanks for the donation, though, Trailer Trash. Appreciate it.
To be fair to Biden, the crime bill was written at a time when the crime rate was very high. It would be unreasonable to suspect nothing be done to address the crime that the country, not just the government, wanted to be dealt with. Biden ain't bad emo.
I would disagree with that. Again, there was clearly an intention behind these bills to target black people specifically. That bill was meant to target black people. And it did. And again, the U.S. government was the one, was what was ultimately responsible for the huge increase in crime. So, yeah, it's fucked. The U.S. created the U.S. government created the crime issue, made the crime bill, and then locked up tons of fucking innocent black people. Like, it's fucked. Thanks for the donation, though, man.
Some animals ASMR from TikTok lol.
Okay, let me take a look. Oh no. That dog likes those snacks. There's no way. I could believe the... Really? They fart that loud? course farts can be like this. There's no way. I've never heard a rabbit fart like that. I don't know. I feel like some of these are fake.
God damn.
I don't think snakes fart. Hey, Jasmine, do snakes fart? Yeah? Weird. Okay. Thanks for the donation, Taylor.
Really, man, Biden is almost as much scum as Trump was.
I wouldn't say he's as bad, but yeah, I mean, he does not have a great past. So when he's talking about targeting like certain types of crime, that makes me worried. Thanks for that donation though, Dodo.
Why vegan protein sauces gotta taste so bad?
They don't. But thanks for the donation, vegan. Appreciate it.
In relation to human.
Obviously a lot of the laws in the crime bill were fucked, and jailing people for non-violent drug offenses is gay. But do you believe there is a way to address overrepresentation of crime in black communities without it being racist?
There was not an overrepresentation of crime in black communities. So if you actually look at the arrest history, not a single person, I think over like a 20-year time period after the crime bill was put into effect, not a single white person was charged with a felony related to the sale of crack cocaine. It was some crazy statistic like that. So there's no fucking way you could have a situation where not a single white person is charged with that kind of crime.
What up VGDS says to go with a specialized Hall SD. What do you think, G-Piece my ninja?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But thanks for the donation, Renee. Yeah, so there was clearly an intention to target black people. There was this cultural idea that it's all black people's fault. Black people are the reason for the crack epidemic. Black people are the only ones selling, which is obviously not true. So, yeah, there are ways to target certain crimes without targeting black people. I don't know if it's possible in the United States though, because there's such a huge issue with racism, not even just among the police force, but just public in general. You're always going to have black people targeted for fucking everything. I mean, there's studies on black people getting pulled over for driving far more often than white people. And what's interesting is you see that at night, it almost becomes even that black drivers are pulled over as much as white drivers because police can't identify black people as well at night. So yeah, like for practically every crime or infraction, black people are targeted. So I don't know if it's possible in the United States to target certain crimes without the result being black people just being targeted. Thanks for the donation, though, Caleb.
Biden was clearly racist against niggers in the past. It's so obvious, is it not? I'm not a fan of Biden at all. At least Trump didn't hate niggers like Biden does. Black people get wrongly jailed all the time for bullshit. Porch monkeys.
So, Trump is racist as fuck. He wanted the Central Park Five killed, even though they were exonerated. And he took out that ad too, demanding that they be put back in prison even though they didn't commit the crime and they're exonerated. Trump is racist as shit. So again, Biden has definitely created more racist policies than Trump, but Trump is racist as fuck. Thanks for the nation, Redneck.
Beans and tofu taste like shit. I force myself to eat a block of tofu every day, but it's hard. Never look forward to it.
You just don't know how to make tofu, or beans or anything. Learn how to cook better. Thanks for that donation, vegan.
Have you heard this H8 group called Leave Our Kids Alone? They claim to be a parental rights group. They actively tell LGBTQIA+ people to commit suicide. They're celebrating Newsom's veto.
Yep, I know of them. They're literally a Nazi organization.
Hang yourself! You should have died in the fucking closet! Fuck you! He's already said he's gonna hang himself tonight.
Yeah, they're a fucking hate group. This has nothing to do with children. They just hate gay people and trans people. It's too bad they're not the ones who are victims of mass shootings, because then I wouldn't have any sympathy. Yeah, fuck those people. Thanks for that donation, Ben.
Humans in the world that you propose.
I propose a system where we just simply don't breed animals into existence with the intention of exploiting and harming them, because we don't have to do anything really. From a moral perspective, we should look to try and reduce systems of animal suffering. Maybe try and help wild animals where we can and do things like that. But fundamentally, what I'm advocating for is just a world where we're not intentionally inflicting suffering onto animals. And so our relationship with them is one of just respect. It's one of mutuality, where we don't have to go out of our way to do anything necessarily, but we just have to appreciate that these animals deserve to live without human-inflicted exploitation, and we certainly shouldn't be breeding them with the intention of exploiting them. So that's what I see of our relationship, just a more respectful relationship, ultimately.
Dodo $22, are you still meditating daily? I am. I take 10 minutes out of my day to meditate, usually around when I wake up. It helps. The most help I've noticed.
Who is your best male friend? Can it be me? I have a vascular Johnson.
No, I don't think you can be my best male friend just because you have a veiny penis. But thanks for the donation, Vascular Johnson. So it helps usually with my mind racing. Like sometimes I just think too quickly and my mind races, and then I don't know what to do and can have like paralysis of analysis. Meditating seems to help stop that, and my days are just much more efficient. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo. Dodo $20. Oh my god, that group is really a thing. What the fuck is America coming to? Yep. Like, again, the United States needs hate speech laws. There aren't groups like this in Canada, and it's for a reason. They'd get locked up. Thanks, though, Dodo. In my opinion, I think there's always going to be some sort of bigot, racist president, no matter who you vote for. No, I don't think so. I don't think everybody who's a presidential candidate is a bigot. Can you take 6'3" Trump in a fight? Well, I'm also 6'3". And yes, he's old and out of shape.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
So, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's.
How tall was my grandfather? I think he was about 6'1".
It's a big lifestyle change, and I think it's not necessarily one that. I mean, I think all of the people around here could probably do it.
Yeah.
Most at least, but.
Could you do it?
Because I have a friend who's vegan, and she's kind of like the one in our friend group who is, and just seeing her lifestyle, it's complicated. Where there's a lot of there's restaurants that like we can't go to as a group.
Yeah.
There's substitutes that have to be made for every meal that we have. There's like when you eat a meal as a group, then there's usually.
Renee donated $2, got one of these bad boys, son. Let me see. Okay, cool. You got Specialized. I didn't know Specialized made...
You versus Joe Rogan in a fight, but you have a baseball bat. Who wins?
Probably me. If I had a baseball bat, yeah, Joe'd probably lose. Thanks for the donation, though, Vegan for Life. Yeah, I didn't know Specialized made bikes like these. That's a good choice. Like, it's more expensive, but it's definitely better quality. That's interesting. Yeah, that'd make a really good cargo bike. Yeah, only downside is it's not full. I guess it doesn't have any suspension, actually. Yeah, that's the only downside. No suspension, but... Yeah, that is a nice bike. Does have fairly fat tires. Good choice, dude. Specialized are nice bikes. Looks like that is a hub motor. 419 pounds of cargo capacity. .48 volts. Okay, 772 watt hours is pretty good. I'm assuming this is a 250 watt. I'm assuming. Oh no, 700 watt rear hub. Okay. Surprised they did that. Maybe they just limit the speed. It's probably a governor on it. That's a nice bike though. Thanks for the donation, Renee.
1 out of 4 items that you can eat. So there's a lot of changes that you have to make on an individual level if you're the only one who's making that change. And I completely applaud her because I think that what she's doing is right, but I've never had the moral vigor to take on those changes. And I think that in my head I know all of these things are true.
Yeah.
Yet like I just avoid looking at the problems, like watching the movies about the farms and all of those things, because I know what they'll make me think, which is I'm doing the thing that's wrong.
Yeah.
And
what does that say then?
It says that I should be more ethical.
Yeah, and how do we be more ethical when it comes to our food choices?
Stop using animal byproducts.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. With your friend, obviously, your friend is in a very noble situation, I suppose. Well, not noble. She's in a tricky situation, which is predicated on a sense of nobility, I suppose, where she's trying to do the right thing. And thankfully for her, it seems like she's surrounded by very well-intentioned and nice friends like yourself. So that's obviously, I'm sure, very reassuring to her. But ultimately, the social challenges that arise from being vegan arise precisely because a lot of people aren't vegan.
Right.
But if you went vegan and you already have that vegan friend who's already dictating somewhat where you go to eat and what you can eat and such, there's already that person who's laid down the hard work for you, who's done the groundwork to kind of get your friendship group used to the idea of being around a vegan, who's done the awkward thing of like insisting where you eat and what you can and can't. In other words, she's taken the burden off you of having that difficult social environment.
Right.
And so in effect, I suppose, there is a slight ease in you making that change, which maybe wouldn't happen for everyone else. Would you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think being the first is the hardest.
Yeah, it is, right.
And being a follower is, I think, not to like degrade it in any sense, because I think it's equally important.
Oh, yes.
Is much easier. And so like I applaud anyone who starts just becoming a vegan and taking
What does Anne Frank and the main character of Pokemon have in common? They are both Ash.
That is a very insensitive joke. Thanks for the donation, 21st Swiffer. Yeah, so this guy is basically a tard and doesn't know how to debate.
How do you define hate under hate speech laws? Don't you realize these laws will become weaponized by religious people to outlaw criticism of religion because they are protected groups?
Nope. That hasn't happened in Canada or any other country that has hate speech laws. So, hate speech is defined as speech that, targets a group of people and with the intention of promoting violence. So, Holocaust denialism, for instance, that would be an example of it. Usually comes along with conspiratorial beliefs that Jews are trying to take over the planet or something. That's something that would promote violence and targets a group. Hate speech isn't something that is just merely criticism or sharing a differing viewpoint. It's much more specific, and conservatives always try to gaslight people into thinking that hate speech is any speech that you just disagree with. That's obviously not what it is. Thanks for the donation, though. Hate.
I enjoy your content, but it really pisses me off how you use your blackness to garner sympathy instead of just stating facts. You should try to be better instead of just trolling for likes. Also, this is you.
Now that's me. Thanks for the donation, Poopy Stinks.
Action, even though I think culturally it's very difficult, but
Adolf Hitler was not vegan or vegetarian. That was something that he said while he was trying to get elected. Because people thought he was a crazy wacko terrorist. So he wanted to seem like a peaceful person. So he lied about being vegetarian so that people wouldn't think he's a crazy wacko terrorist.
I even now I see myself bargaining. I'm like,
Right,
well,
yeah.
maybe I could do it, but I could still just have some cheese, have some XYZ, but in the end of the day, it's like you say, it's an ethical choice. And what are ethics if they're half measures? Yeah. I don't know.
But should we bargain on those things? And I guess this relates back to the question, or to the statement you were making earlier about enjoying.
How does a black girl find out she's pregnant? When she pulls the tampon out and the cotton is picked. Don't be racist. Racism is a crime and crime is for black people. What happens if an Asian with an erection walks into a wall? He breaks his nose.
Yes, those are racist jokes, and they're not appropriate. You shouldn't make those kinds of jokes because you might offend somebody, but thanks for that donation, Trailer Trash.
Enjoyment and taste and such.
Right.
And I suppose one of the interesting questions I often ask people, because it's often an excuse that comes up, is does our enjoyment of these products morally justify the consequence of supporting these industries?
I think that bargaining comes with forgetting.
Yeah, so, okay, I think we're done reacting to this. This guy just didn't know how to debate. Earthling Ed said some really stupid shit that undermined the idea of animal rights, as is typical with a lot of his debates. Let's see. XQC is stealing content, and so are most reaction streamers. Maybe we'll watch this a little.
So criticizing Jews isn't okay? Why not apply those same protections to Muslims? You criticize Muslims all the time and make terrorist jokes.
Denmark moves to ban Quran burnings after Muslim outrage. So it looks like they're being pressured to do this because of Muslim terror attacks, not because they have any kind of ideological basis for believing it should be wrong to burn the Quran. This is fucking Denmark, by the way, so yeah, they're cucked. Thanks for the donation, Hate.
Have you ever played golf or disc golf? Also, what is something that you want to learn/research?
I don't know what disc golf is, but I used to play golf. And I was okay at it. I'm really good at driving, so I think my longest drive was over 500 yards. And something I want to learn/research. I want to learn how to race. So I'm getting a driving simulator set up, and I'm gonna practice on a set of course. Probably also get iRacing. And I'm also gonna play some rally games, and I just want to learn how to actually drive cars. So that's something I want to learn in the near future. But thanks for the donation, Volcorps. Huge Yadong donated $2. Does creatine really enhance cognitive performance? It appears to do that. So when you look at like short-term memory tests, it seems to improve performance. Thanks for the donation, Hugh G. Dong.
Streamers are being so lazy, it might be illegal. That's right, professional live streamer XQC is facing accusations of stealing content for his own reaction videos while making a complete mockery of other people's intellectual property rights. Oh, hold on. This part's great. Man, I love this guy. Welcome back, Legal Eaglets. Today it's time to think like a lawyer because we're going to be covering one of the most misunderstood aspects of copyright law.
Helen Keller walks into a bar, then a table, and then a chair. What is better than winning a gold medal at the Special Olympics? Having arms and legs. What is the difference between acne and a priest? Acne comes on a boy's face after he turns 12.
Based joke. Thanks for the donation, Inappropriate Jokes.
So burning books and censoring people is okay as long as the government seems them hateful? You're no better than the conservative nuts who want to get books removed from libraries.
So stupid. I defined what hate speech is. In my definition of hate speech, it cannot be, like, burning the Quran would never be construed as hate speech. So, you're an idiot. You just cherry-picked a fucking article that I didn't fucking agree with, and now you're saying that my beliefs lead to that. Thanks for the donation, dummy.
Fair use. So hold on, because it depends. But for those not in the know, XQC is one of the most popular and highest...
Play Richard Burns Rally? I don't think that's the best rally game. Dirt 2 and the new WRC coming out in November are probably going to be the best rally games. I don't even think this is on Steam. Is this like some really stupid old fucking game that you're talking about? Yeah. This is an old piece of shit game. Why the fuck are you recommending me to play this? It's like PS2.
Paid internet personalities. Over the past decade, the 27-year-old French-Canadian has cultivated a dedicated following for his unique style of unfiltered commentary for video game live streams and YouTube videos.
Tiger Woods drives around 300 and you saying you drive 500. Lol, why you lie so much?
Tiger Woods does not only drive 300. He can reach out to probably like 500. That is bullshit. driving 300 yards is fucking easy. He just normally doesn't fucking have to drive that far. Thanks for the donation, Vegan Gains Lies Again.
Now, XQC's most recent controversy kicked off when he uploaded a video to his YouTube channel showing himself reacting to another creator's video on the JFK assassination.
About to return to ground level, given spotted Oswald approaching.
But while reaction videos typically involve lots of pausing and constructive commentary on selected clips, XQC's video is almost exclusively just him watching the entirety of another person's 90-minute video. This triggered an influx of backlash from other YouTubers who accused XQC of free riding off of another creator's hard work, all while reaping financial rewards via clicks and ad revenue.
XQC.
Like, again, the idea that people are watching XQC because he watches videos that they like, why would they watch XQC? They're just interested in watching XQC. As brain dead as you might think it is, there's a lot of stupid fucking people. And XQC just watching the video, raising an eyebrow here and there, that is likely what a lot of them want to see. They're not sitting around watching XQC streams so that he'll watch a video they want to watch. Then they just watch those fucking videos. They're there to watch XQC. So the idea that XQC is taking away the copyright holders' like market share, I don't see a good compelling argument for that.
Is saying next to nothing. Again, it's just like, wow, this video is popular, so I'm gonna sit in the corner and my audience will do basically whatever I say, and I'll say it next to nothing and make free money.
And to make matters worse, sometimes he even keeps the video playing while he leaves to use the bathroom or make lunch.
Allowed various work.
Do not post this to YouTube for the lack of react. Boom!
And of course, XQC is not the only streamer who reacts to other people's videos in real time with almost no commentary. It's all over the place. Now, XQC claims he's done nothing wrong and accused his critics of being envious of his success. Now, as a YouTuber who has produced my own share of reaction videos and had their videos reacted to by others, this is an issue that is near and dear to my heart, and more importantly,
calling it an issue is probably an overstatement. There's really no research indicating that something like this is harming copyright holders. So the reason why people care about this discussion is probably twofold. There's a worry that you're harming copyright holders, which again, I don't think there's any compelling argument for. And two, people just don't like the idea of earning easy money. Like, yeah, somebody might work really hard on a video, then XQC comes along, reacts to it on stream. He makes like more money than them because he's XQC. Who cares? Yeah. So if he's not harming anybody, who the fuck cares if he's profiting off of this? Like, it's just stupid.
My wallet. And the transformative nature of fair use is one of the most misunderstood areas of the law on the internet. So today, let's take a deep dive into one of the most heated debates on online content creation and fair use that's happening right now. Now, Felix Lengyel, better known as XQC, has spent nearly a decade building a devoted online following as a former top-ranked competitive Overwatch player, turned streamer and content creator. And on the live streaming platform Twitch and now Kick, XQC regularly chats with fans, hosts reality shows, and broadcasts himself playing video games. And on his YouTube channel, XQC makes general videos on a variety of topics, including videos of himself reacting to other creators' content.
Why did MJ go to the store? He found out it was boys' pants half off. What do you do after you lick the smoothest pussy in the world? Put the diaper back on. What did the tortoise say after he won the race? It's better to get there before the hare.
Yeah, some of those are gross. Thanks for the donation, pedophile.
You've said a few times that when you and Jamsin fuck you like her to call you a nigger and it makes you extra hard. When was the last time she did that? Have you both enjoyed bareback anal sex recently? As a regular donor, I have a right to know. 7,777,777.
Yeah, Jasmine doesn't really like calling me the N-word, so she doesn't really do it, unfortunately. And I don't think I'm going to share any more details, but thanks for the donation, Poopy Stanks.
And often re-uploading his live streams. Now, XQC is no stranger to controversy, and if anything, he revels in it. He's been historically suspended from Twitch for various reasons, ranging from a copyright strike for live streaming the Tokyo Olympics to an incident where he uploaded a brief clip of two gorillas mating, which he claims was by accident. And XQC has also blurted out homophobic, sexist, or otherwise bizarre comments during live streams. But ironically, the famously outspoken XQC now finds himself under fire for the things he doesn't say during his reaction videos. Now, most recently, XQC kicked the hornet's nest on
VG drives further than Tiger, knows more about bodybuilding than anyone, is bigger than IFP pros with no steroids and calls geniuses stupid. Why you sit in your stinky apartment all day depressed when you have these mad skills?
I don't sit in my apartment depressed all day, but I don't know what you mean bigger than IFBB pros. Like, I mean, there are classes in the IFBB where people are like limited to 170 pounds. So yeah, I mean, I could be bigger than some IFBB pros, and then weight classes that don't have weight limits, like open bodybuilding, I'm going to be smaller. Like, what are you talking about? It's like saying, oh, you think you're bigger than a professional boxer? Like, yeah, it depends on the fucking boxer you're talking about. And Tiger Woods can drive more than 300 yards. You're a fucking idiot. Thanks for the donation.
On July 24th, 2023, when he posted a video onto his YouTube channel titled The Kennedy Assassination, XQC Reacts to Lemino. But XQC's video is not so much a reaction video as it is mostly just him watching an entire 90-minute JFK documentary in silence. A number of YouTubers accused XQC of stealing the content of a fellow creator while providing almost zero commentary that would make the video his own. First it was Bub Films taking XQC to task, then some ordinary gamers joined the fray describing the video as garbage. And this isn't the first time that XQC's non-reactive reaction videos have actually stirred controversy. Neo, a YouTuber who creates educational videos, who you can also find on Nebula, criticized XQC for leaving the room 5 seconds into reacting to Neo's video. And
how's it going? Almost finished Death Note. Very awesome so far. That's good. It's going good. Tired. I had a very long day, but I'm doing good. Do you remember Leroy Colbert? Oh yes. I do.
What has 4 legs and screams ho-dido, ho-dido? 2 niggers trying to catch an elevator.
Yeah, that's racist. Thanks for that donation, Gilbert's Ghost.
Only coming back 10 minutes later, which Neo described as XQC, quote, making a mockery out of the fact that he is not reacting. He also provided a graph showing that there was no viewership boost for Neo during and after XQC's broadcast. On the streaming site Kick, which XQC recently made a $100 million deal to join, one of XQC's first...
Well, like, again, that should tell you something. If there's not a viewership boost, these people aren't interested in that guy's content. They're only interested in XQC. So why would you think like XQC is taking away this person's like market share and ability to make money if none of his viewers have any interest in watching his content?
First streams went south after a member of Kick staff had to jump into the chat to stop him from streaming the entirety of The Dark Knight. He then found himself temporarily hidden from Kick's directory, aka shadow banned, for a second copyright violation for streaming Breaking Bad.
That is bizarre.
Now, addressing the backlash to the Kennedy video, XQC asserted in a live stream that he paused like crazy.
Sounds like you need to put Poop Stinks SP needs to be put in timeout.
Who do you mean? I don't know who you're talking about, who needs to be put in timeout, but thanks for the donation, Sam.
And added a lot of commentary to very generous statements.
Bro, I paused like crazy, added a lot of commentary. Chat, the reason why I didn't commentate is that streams are content. Streams in their entirety are content.
He then claimed he only rushed through because his chat was, quote, getting mad. And after going on one of his trademark rants, he added, quote,
yes, a lot of it is just watching it. Because that's what chat wants. If I commentate too much, chat gets bored.
Now, we'll talk about legal defenses in the future, but this is just classic, the chat got bored, so it's okay to commit copyright infringement. I'm sure he's fine here. But on Twitter, XQC hit back at some ordinary gamers, writing, quote, I'm watching a vid
Look, dude, like, I think a lot of people don't understand this. Like, the people who are watching XQC are brain dead fucking morons. Like, there's just no better way to describe it. They're the type of people who would watch reaction channels. So people who don't even make any commentary, they literally just watch a video and pretend to laugh or pretend to get angry or disgusted. Who's one of the big ones now? I can't remember his fucking name, but yeah, like if you've ever seen some of those try not to laugh videos, like that's why people are watching XQC. So like the issue for me isn't whether or not it technically violates copyright. The issue for me is whether or not it actually harms these copyright holders. And no one's actually been able to provide any good evidence of that. The only thing like they're complaining about is that XQC's content is garbage, and they don't like that he's benefiting to some degree off of watching other people's content. Like, in which, who cares? If they're not getting harmed, who the fuck cares?
I like to my people, that's it. Whatever that means. Now, XQC reacted to Neo's response with this incomprehensible video.
Chat, did this get re-uploaded? Chat, is this video re-uploaded or not? Wait, it didn't. Wait, it didn't. So what's the problem? So, what's the problem then? People say that it's when you upload it to the same platform, and that's the problem.
Yeah, so what I think he's trying to say, and don't quote me on this, is that he told his editor or his social media guy not to republish his live stream to YouTube, thinking that that somehow absolved him of copyright infringement. That's not the case. Now, what this gibbering mouther fails to understand is that it's copyright infringement whether it takes place during a live stream or during a video on demand or a re-upload. It doesn't matter whether it's live or not. It's still copyright infringement. It just might be harder to actually find if there's no actual recorded video of it, if it was a live stream that just went off into the ether. And actually, when XQC was called out during the live stream of reacting to Neo's video for the lack of commentary, XQC just gets angry and makes some stuff up, talking about some nonsense reaction about the metal of the pillars and stuff.
Metal pipes, cement, football, goal at the back. Wait a minute, chat. Hold up. I think this is a very rare copper alloy right there, chat.
But it highlights the lack of actual commentary. You can't just describe what you're seeing and call it commentary. That's not going to qualify. And it highlights the lack of anything of value that's being added and the lack of transformativeness.
Yeah, so I don't think I really need to watch the rest of this. He is looking at this from a legal perspective, and from a legal perspective, he would be right. XQC is violating copyright. The problem is, everyone is just focusing on his streams not being transformative. He's using this content and he's benefiting himself, but they're not actually providing any evidence that he's harming the creators. So I'm sure there are some marginal circumstances where he may have, but again, for the most part, looks like he hasn't. So yeah, this whole XQC thing, Again, people just don't understand that people are watching XQC because they're brain dead retards and they just want to see him, I don't know, smile and...
The donor who made the sexual comments about you and Jasmine. He mentioned that he wants to Jasmine call you nigger.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm fine with some stuff like that, but thanks for the donation, Sam. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so people who watch XQC, they're fucking retarded, and they just want to see him watch something, and then they basically just want to see his facial expression. They're the same brain dead retards who watch like reaction channels. And a lot of people don't get that. Like just how stupid XQC viewers are. Alright. I'm not vegan anymore. Ex-vegan meets activist.
It's only animals' lives on the line, man. It's not a big deal. It's only slaughterhouses, factory farms, and murdered animals. So.
It's a fair point. I was vegan for about 7 months. I did actually lose quite a lot of weight. Maybe I just wasn't having enough calorie-dense food.
Come on, I'll pick you up.
I do quite like the taste of fish.
Exactly. So that's more like you just like the taste.
I tried tofu flash just on its own. It's not that nice, is it? Raw.
Neither is chicken raw.
No, I can't eat chicken raw. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't eat tofu raw, would you?
No.
I mean, I can. I eat like a block like this. But do you think what happens to animals is wrong?
Definitely morally wrong.
But why aren't you vegan if you know?
What if my mom has a heart attack? Well, then I would get some money from her life insurance. That's what would happen.
Know the truth.
Hi.
Going on, mate? Farm Sanctuary.
I don't have long, but I just wanted to say hi.
Hey, brother.
I used to watch some of your videos, I think.
Oh, really? Cool.
Your name's Joey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch your videos. My friend did as well, I think.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you.
Do you like... I might be a bit of a hypocrite, but do you like my heading?
I assumed you were vegan and you're wearing a sanctuary top and you're not.
I got this when I used to be vegan.
You used to? So now the animals are being rescued from you. So why aren't you vegan anymore?
One of the pigs there called Colin.
Oh, really? Do you eat pigs?
Not that often, but...
So you eat Colin? You eat beans like Colin?
But
so you eat Frankie
I do eat pork sometimes, actually.
Okay. And why?
Even though I do like pigs, I could easily cut out pork. I actually love pigs, so it's a bit weird. I was vegan for about 7 months. I enjoyed it, and I felt quite good, but I feel like after a while, like after maybe 5-6 months, I just felt that I started to miss the animal products, to be honest.
What do you mean? Did you have less energy or something?
This guy doesn't sound like he's a former vegan. It just sounds like he wanted to try going plant-based and then just couldn't be fucked. Speaking of ex-vegans, ban Poya and Nema in chat. I mean, unless he is violating chat rules, I'm not going to ban him.
The main things were that I did actually lose quite a lot of weight doing
Sounds
it.
like you were...
Maybe I just wasn't having enough calories, but I guess it's harder to find calorie-dense foods.
Come on, I'll pick you up. You can just increase your calories.
But I remember because I felt like at the time I felt like I was eating, I was eating constantly.
I just eat what I used to eat when I wasn't vegan. Like if I want pasta, we have spaghetti bolognese, so processed pasta. Some people are going to go vegan that's just like beans and broccoli and salad and fruits and then they just drop in their calories down.
I did quite a lot of whole foods because I wanted to keep it healthy. So I avoided some of the processed foods. The main reason though, I probably just because I feel like it's easier for me to stay healthy when I have animal products because they are quite nutritious.
Yeah, nutritious can mean a lot of things. I mean, what do you mean by nutritious?
On a vegan diet, it's harder to get, I don't know if it's impossible. Is it impossible to get B12 or?
No, because they fortify the food, and then omega-3 you can get from chia seeds and walnuts.
And you get enough from that because
when
I was vegan, I just had porridge a lot with chia seeds, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Lol, you defending XQC because you know you do the same shit. As your marketing director, I've been meaning to have a talk. Your political commentary is trash, bro. I'm gonna need you to step your game up. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't do the same thing as XQC. Thanks for the donation, I'm Niagara.
But you got to grind them up. You get flax seeds fine, or you can take a DHA supplement, vegan algae supplement. It's easy.
I do quite like the taste of fish.
Exactly. So that's more like you just like the taste. So it is a taste thing, isn't it?
Maybe.
You seem like a trim guy already.
Quite stem, yeah.
You seem
I
trim.
I have a fast metabolism.
Yeah,
I
so
eat quite
maybe
a lot
you
as
might
well.
run into issues if you lower your calories. So you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But that's just a little bit extra olive oil, mate. Like I don't know, like
I love olive oil.
yeah. So what can tend to happen is you fall back into your old mindset, and because if you don't have a good support.
Do I miss my grandfather? No. I do not.
Group of, well, it might not be what happened. How could you have a moral position and then not have a moral position? That's all.
I feel like maybe I've tried to justify myself by saying that I need it for my health, but it's probably not entirely true. So obviously, from in my situation, it did affect my health a little bit in a negative way.
Yeah, because you did. I mean,
but
I could.
I'm not saying that completely justifies.
I could be a meat eater and eat 800 calories a day, and then be like, well, eating meat harmed my health, and I'll say no. Yeah, it was eating 800 calories a day harmed your health. So was it really a plant-based diet, or was it something that you were doing, something else?
No, that's true. I felt like when I was a vegan, I was eating healthily, and I was eating nutritious food.
You might not have been eating enough.
Maybe it wasn't enough calories. But
did you track your calories at all?
I didn't. So
let's just say I'm eating a certain amount of food. Some of it's cheese. Yeah. I go vegan. I take the cheese out, and I didn't replace it with vegan cheese because I didn't like it. So you've just removed 200-300 calories a day. Do you know what I'm saying? So you could just be pulling your calories down lower.
Oh, so you're saying I probably was reducing my calorie
intake. You probably mindlessly because
you
you didn't replace the cheese.
Yeah, I didn't track any of this, so it's just me guessing. I assumed I probably didn't have enough calories, and maybe I'm blaming it on the less calorie dense foods. But I think because I feel like the volume of food I had and I was eating quite often, I thought that would maybe counterbalancing it, but
no, volume,
I wasn't sure because I didn't keep track of
volume
calories.
Doesn't translate to calories.
No, not quite, but it was quite a lot of volume.
Volume can translate to lower calories, especially in the vegan context because of the amount of fiber and water in plant foods. You know, so like if you're eating a little bit extra roughage like lettuce, kale, broccoli, vegetables, potatoes, things like those, they're very low calorie dense foods, but they are very voluminous. So you might be like, whoa, I'm full.
But not for it to fill you up like on its own, surely.
No, I mean but if you were having say you were having potatoes, beans, and a bunch of broccoli.
That'd be quite filling.
And if you just had a little extra broccoli, you could displace your calories with dilute food. So that over time you're having...
Yeah, so this is just all basically explaining to this guy how to fucking eat. I don't know why people have such a fucking hard time. Like, if the dude was losing weight and he didn't want to lose weight, he's clearly not eating enough. I don't... That's the only way you can lose weight. Why the fuck wouldn't he just eat more? I don't understand why people can't just do simple fucking things. Like, full-grown fucking adults need to be treated like children and be told, make sure you finish all your soup. Like, it's just baffling how you can be an adult and not figured out how to fucking eat enough.
There was nothing. But I was just like, you know what? I'm a vegan. That's it. But I did it wrong. I ate too much raw food. I ate too much watermelon, and I got stomach aches. Then I realized, I just got to eat what I normally eat, but vegan, and try to make it like I don't want to eat heaps of junk. Now I got to be careful. I'll just put on weight so easily.
You're in good shape though.
Yeah, I'm in good shape. I got.
You must go to the gym quite a lot as well.
A little bit. Yeah, I've been training again lately, but yeah, I have no problem maintaining my muscles.
What are your main protein sources when you're a vegan?
When I'm training, I like
quite a lot of tofu.
Tofu's more fatty. You got tempeh as well. I eat seitan. We eat a lot of mock meat as well, but we eat it with vegetables. We eat it with.
Yeah, because on its own, it's not nutritious at all, is it?
Nah, yeah, I don't want to look. I'm under no illusions that, you know, some of the vegan stuff is not healthy, but
food high in protein is going to feel
yeah, like if you find some good seitan, like if you press some tofu or whatever, a few fried tofu to make it like oily and crunchy, and
yeah, I used to do that. I think I made because I tried tofu first just on its own. It's not that nice, is it? Raw.
Neither is chicken raw.
No, I can't eat chicken raw. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So you wouldn't eat tofu raw, would you? I mean, I can. I eat like a block like this.
Okay. And then I tried scrambled tofu, I think I tried. Yeah. Sort of like to replace kind of scrambled eggs.
Nutritional yeast, scrambled.
I do play quite a lot of sports. I work out sometimes.
Okay.
I feel like I also eat a lot, so I must have fast metabolism.
Yeah. Unsaturated fats. This is the same people who think seed oils are
people
unhealthy.
say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think I trust their opinion really then.
But it's really nice talking to you. And the animals
Nice
need
to
you.
meet you, yeah.
You've got a nice heart. I don't think. I think that you would be very utterly disturbed if I took you into the places where these animals have to live in order to bring you their body parts.
Pigs used to be one of my favourite animals when I was vegan, and I still like them now. I probably should cut out pork, to be honest.
Yeah. Be a friend to the animals and
I like all the farm animals, really.
Well, that was a wholesome conversation. Not particularly interesting, though. The Earthling Ed one was more interesting. Let's get into some menti topics. So, do women belong in the gym? Let's see.
Hello YouTube. Today we're going to try and answer the following question. Do women belong in the gym? The reason why I picked that question in particular today isn't because I woke up and chose violence, although that could be a reason, but mainly because I've noticed that many men nowadays in the fitness sphere have developed
Yeah. 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 Yeah? Yeah. 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 Dot. Yeah? Yeah, bitch. Yeah. 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 Yeah? Yeah. 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 Dot. Yeah? Yeah, bitch. Yeah. Dr. Yeah. 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 Yeah? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for that, I'm Niagara. Appreciate the donation, sir.
a form of resentment towards female lifters, to the point that some of them are even calling for the creation of male-only gyms. And my goal today is to analyze why these guys think like this, where these feelings, these anti-female feelings come from, as well as attempting to discuss the status of women within the fitness sphere. Because I think that it's a topic that is never really discussed, as is the case for many taboo subjects. But as you might know, I love taboo subjects. I think that if something is hush-hush and kept secret by a large portion of society, this means that there is something to discuss here. So this is also going to be an excuse for me to be politically incorrect about topics such as women and sexism, because I truly don't care. And again, I think that this is deeply interesting. And if you clicked, most likely you think like that as well. So let's begin by setting the context of this question first and foremost. Why do some men complain about female lifters? Why do some men claim that?
Because they're fucking incels and they get mad at pretty girls for either not going out with them, or they're so insecure they'll not even talk to pretty girls, and then just get mad at them because they expect these pretty girls to talk to them and ask them out. That's why dudes get mad at pretty girls in the gym.
That women don't belong in the gym. Or the number one complaint that I've seen is that women were revealing clothes and are therefore too distracting. Now, I think you would agree with me that this is a bit weird coming from men who are supposedly heterosexual, because what man complains that a woman looks too good, right? What man would complain that a girl who has otherwise very attractive curves would show off these curves by wearing tight clothes? When you're at the gym and you're in between sets and you have a girl wearing a yoga pant and she just walks by you or she bends over, I mean, it's a nice panorama, it's a nice vision to have in between sets. So for a guy to then come out and say that this bothers him is a bit weird.
Did you get girls in high school? Not girls from my high school, but yeah. Didn't have a girlfriend, but I did get laid.
And, you know, it's always been also something that is entirely in your control, because if the sight of pretty women at the gym is going to take away your focus and you want to be able to, you know, zero in on the weights, well, that's entirely up to you. You actually don't have to watch. I don't know if you knew that, but you are not required to look at boobs and asses at the gym. You can just look at the floor. And so that would be
what? Yeah, I guess. I don't want to get up. Yeah, I know. I am so fucking tired. You have no idea. Yeah, I'll get up and do it. Should probably get another drink anyway. Oh, man. One degree? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh. Good cat there. Yeah.
my number one advice for anyone who thinks that women don't belong at the gym. You can just not look at them. Maybe practice some Islamic wisdom. Quote directly from the Quran, tell the believing men to lower their gaze and guard their chastity. That is purer for them. And I believe that this is sage advice. Even if you're not religious, even if you're not Muslim, because you cannot control what women wear, be it in the gym or outside of the gym, because this entire thing of women wearing too revealing of clothes also applies outside of it, right?
Doesn't that fucking hypocritic, like, fucking dipshit, Dylan McKnight, complain about pretty girls all the time? That dude's a fucking loser, bro. I did it, Mom. 500,000 subscribers and new car. Bro, there's no way this guy is making, well, maybe Corvette money. I thought that was a McLaren. Yeah, this guy complains about pretty girls all the fucking time. And what's funny is, this fucking jackass, like, will complain about pretty girls at the gym wearing nothing at all. Then this fucking guy goes to a fucking gym and wears nothing at all. Let me see if he has a short about it. Yeah, but Dylan McKnight's like this fucking incel creep loser who fucking complains about girls wearing like yoga pants and shit. Let me see. I think he made a short at some point. Maybe it's just a video he uploaded, but yeah, he was complaining about girls all the time. He also talks about being addicted to porn. So I think, I don't know if his porn addiction claim is even real. He seems like a liar to me. But, if that is true, it's like he's blaming women for his fucking sexual problems. Like, because he gets triggered by seeing some girl's ass at the gym, like she has to change her clothes for him. I really can't stand the guy.
Are you part of the gay agenda? And how much are they paying you off, Jew?
Yes, I'm part of the gay agenda, and they pay me in blowjobs. Thanks for the donation, bring me that ass.
I knew and I think you knew too lol. Tucker Carlson now's receiving a weekend show on Russian state TV.
Really? Oh my god. In any other country, this behavior would be treasonous. Tucker Carlson finally does it. He's getting his own weekend show on Russian state television. Wow. At least he's finally stopped lying about who's paying him. And this fucking jackass is being paid by Elon Musk on Twitter. Like, you really understand why Musk is against, having his, internet satellites being used in Ukraine. It's because he's a Putin supporter. He's a fucking fascist and pro-genocide. These people are all pieces of shit. Thanks for the nation that bend over.
If it truly bothers you deep down, just control the way you interact with these women by not looking at them. The female image is outside of your control. It used to be that men had a tight lock on women, but it's not the case nowadays, so you're going to have to deal with the next best thing, and that is to simply not look. And in this modern world where it is indeed...
I challenged Moist Critical to a debate multiple times, and he kept coming up with stupid dumbass reasons not to debate me. I think at first he said he didn't have time. Then he said he tried to, but didn't see my message. Then he said that he's not going to do it anymore because I'm just trying to get attention. Like, the guy's a fucking loser.
True that women hypersexualize themselves. If you can develop that ability, you're also going to be able to control your libido.
Like, why do you even have to ask me that? Charlie's dodging a debate with me because he knows he's an idiot. Like, he's not stupid. Like, he knows he's wrong. So, yeah, he's just dodging a debate with me because he knows I just prove him wrong.
And I think that this is essential because you might know or might not know that your life, your decisions in your future as a man are directly impacted by your ability to control your libido. The mistake and error that is going to ruin your life down the line might very well come from you not being able to control your dick. So, when you see a pretty woman at the gym who bends over in front of you, instead of thinking, oh, what a skank, instead use it as an opportunity for yourself to become a better man, to learn how to control yourself. Be it in philosophy or religion, I've always preferred putting the onus and the responsibility on the shoulders of men. It is men's responsibility to be good people and to be strong-willed. It's not on women to make it easier for you. You don't want women to wear very baggy clothes just so that you can then control yourself. You want to play on hard mode. So that is, in a sense, a problem.
Who of these three is the most tolerable? Penguins 0, Wreathley Link, or he who shall not be named?
Penguin 0 is probably the most tolerable, honestly. I mean, Rayleigh Link is just a toxic fucking piece of trash. And he who shall not be named is an actual rapist, so... Thanks for the nation, though. Yeah.
You think Dylan McKnight is on roids? If you are tired, you should end the stream and go to bed.
No. I think Dylan McKnight is natty. He just has a good physique. Not a good brain, but he has a good physique. And, I gotta make that cash, Sam, unfortunately. So, I'm not gonna go to bed just yet. But thanks for the donation, dude.
Problem that some guys seem to have that I don't agree with, because again, this is not receivable. It's extremely childish. It is your responsibility. And I think it's your responsibility also because by being able to control that libido and that impulse, you're going to be able to deal with your sexual frustration. Because I think that this is the true source of resentment. I don't buy for a second that guys are actually mad that women look good and pretty at the gym. I don't buy that you're mad that a girl is wearing a cleavage. I think
Thank you for that, Cortez. Great spam. Appreciate the donation.
that what bothers you instead is that it's turning you on, it's triggering your libido, but you don't have access to the release, meaning that you see the product.
No, dude, no. This is entirely driven by dudes just hating pretty girls because they're upset they can't date them. That's what it is. There's like a community of losers who go to the gym who are fucking incels, and they're mad that pretty girls won't date them. So that's what is triggering this whole thing about like women shouldn't be allowed to go to the gym or male only gyms and crap like that. It's incels just being mad at pretty girls.
But you cannot purchase the product because the product wants nothing to do with you. This is really the issue and the problem at hand. I think that if every single dude who went to the gym, a gym with a lot of pretty women, could then go on to date these women, I think that no one would complain. The issue is that these women, once they're done with our session, they go home, you go home as well alone, and then you jerk off and you cry yourself to bed. That is your issue. It's called sexual frustration, and I'm not going to fault you for it because most men nowadays are sexually frustrated. So when you see a woman that is wearing tight clothes, it is a personal insult to you because it's a reminder of what you...
What age did I stop growing? I think I stopped getting taller when I was 22 or 23. That's when I finally stopped growing in height.
You don't have. And it's something that young men tend to struggle with. If you are my age or older, you should already know the answer. But many men say, well, why do women wear like that, wear clothes like that and dress like that if they don't want me to look at them, if I'm going to be called a creep for looking at them? And the answer is simple. Yes, women wear these clothes for attention, for male attention, just not your attention. It's this idea and image of the perfect mate they have in mind. And
I mean, that's not true. So women wear sexy clothes at the gym, not just to get attention from men. Like I think it's normal for people to wear clothes that they just feel like they look best in. So it's a personal, like, confidence kind of thing. It's not just, oh, I want to get male attention at the gym. Like, you are probably going to wear clothes that you think you look best in, even if you're, like, just working out at home, honestly. Like, if you have a mirror or something, you're going to want to do that. So, yeah, I don't think that's fair to say that, you know, women are just wearing clothes that they look good in just to get male attention.
Because you don't fit the criteria, if you give them attention, you're going to be seen as a creep. But if a good-looking guy gives them...
How tall was I at age 18? I think it was like either 6'1", 6'2". Grew an inch between like then and when I stopped growing.
Attention is going to be well received. I think it's important that you put that through your head because many men, again, are frustrated by that. They think it's unjust and illogical. It's not illogical. It's just that you're not the target. She puts the bait in the lake and you bite, but you're not the type of fish that she's looking for. And she's not going to dress down just because you keep fucking biting. She wants the big fish and you're not the big fish. So that's also something to keep in mind. But this entire phenomenon, this entire scenario also leads to mass sexual frustration because, in truth, most men are not the desired fish. Only, I think it was like 10% of men attract the attention of 90% of women. So, of course, you have a lot of men who are left on the side of the highway and no one is there for them. And their frustration builds up and builds up and builds up. And I think that it is now at an all-time high. Society is now at a point where it's essentially a boiling pot of men whose balls are about to explode because of...
Thank you for that, Cortez. Excellent spam. Appreciate the donation, dude.
Of all of the sexual media that surrounds us. And I'm not just talking about porn. It's even in commercials. It's everywhere. You cannot go outside.
This is a weird claim to me because movies and commercials and media in general has become less sexualized. Like, I mean, look at the Mortal Kombat games from like Mortal Kombat 9 to the most recent one, Mortal Kombat 1, like the female characters are wearing much less revealing clothes. You see less sex like on TV in general. There's just been like a cultural movement against, you know, like sexual exploitation and shit like that. So yeah, that's not true. You're seeing less of that more than anything. Like, look at, like, every fucking 80s film, and a lot of 1990s films had just tits all the fucking time. You don't really see that anymore. So, yeah, not true.
About seeing pretty women, but the issue is that you don't have access to them and you don't have access to sex, because getting access to sex and to women is harder now than it's ever been. In 2020,
it is not harder to have sex with women now than it used to be.
1 in 3 men reported no sexual activity whatsoever for the entirety of the year. That's a 4-year where they never got kissed, they didn't get a hand job, a blow job, and they certainly never had sexual intercourse with another woman. That is 30% of the male population. It is absolutely immense. You could tell me, okay, well, that might just be because this was the year of the pandemic. Okay, fair enough. In that case, I have other numbers for you. Between 2002 and 2018, sexual inactivity rose from 18% to 31%. That is almost double, meaning that the amount of men who couldn't get access to women almost doubled. And with that, the
I don't know if that's actually true. So, because you can get a reduction in sexual activity in the population, that doesn't mean people are involuntarily celibate. They may just be choosing to be celibate. So, like, there's plenty of women that I wouldn't fuck with, even if I was horny and wanted to get laid. Like,
Plife, 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 plife.
I don't know why, but that one annoyed me. Thanks for the donation, Cortez. Yeah, so you need more granularity to the data set. Just because you see a reduction in sexual activity, it doesn't mean people are involuntarily celibate. Like, there are some explanations. I mean, in 2002, didn't, like, Quake and shit come out? Like, it's entirely possible that you have a subset of men where the types of women that they could date just are not as good as video games. So, like, if some pretty good video games have come out, like, you know, Quake, Call of Duty, Crysis, you know, shit like that, and the women that you have access to dating are just maybe not that good looking, or they have terrible personalities, or like your interests don't align. Yeah, you may just be choosing hobbies that you're more interested in over these women. It's entirely possible. Like again, there's plenty of women that I would rather play video games than go on a date with them. So I would just like to see more granularity to the data set and see if these men are in fact involuntarily celibate, and like for what reason. Because they may just be involuntarily celibate because like the women they see are just fucking assholes or something. Who knows? Broke Nigga donated $2. Which European country is the most affordable and offers the best quality of life? I'm not sure about most affordable, but what is it? Netherlands and I think Sweden and Finland are pretty good. So, yeah, I think those are the most affordable and have best quality of life all around. I think. I know Netherlands is ranked pretty high, and I know Sweden is ranked pretty high too. Thanks for the donation though, Broke Nigga. Appreciate it.
Frustration doubles as well. And the issue is that the more frustrated you get, the more painful being exposed to the female image is, the more frustrated you get, etc. You perceive it as a cycle. So you go to the gym, you see a pretty woman, you don't have access to her, you come home, you jerk off, you come to the gym the next day, your frustration is now becoming greater because consuming porn is not making the frustration any better, it's actually making it worse.
I haven't seen any evidence that, porn use increases sexual frustration. In fact, I've seen the opposite. There's research on prisoners where if they're given pornography, they're less likely to commit rape, they're less likely to report sexual frustration, and they're just more cooperative in general. So, don't know where he's getting this idea.
You now start to resent women because you perceive them to be responsible and the culprit for your frustration and the pain that comes with it, which leads them to you not being able to access women because women have a very strong sense of dudes who have this weird boiling resentment within, meaning that now whenever you try to approach a girl, you're angry out of nowhere and she did nothing to you, she's going to flee you, you don't get the girl, you get more frustrated, you jerk off more, you see pretty women, etc., etc. So, in this modern world and in this modern society, this constant frustration of being constantly exposed to the object of your desire, but being unable to accept.
Wow, check out this tweet covering what a piece of shit Gavin Newsom is. It seems to me that he is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I can't believe that I was a sucker to believe that he was for us.
Newsom's priority is not the people of California, it's his own thirst for power. We are not constituents to him, we're expendable resources. So, if you're not keeping up, California Governor Gavin Newsom betrayed immigrants, LGBTQ people, unions, and his fellow Democrats in state government with a flurry of anti-progressive vetoes. Next day, the Biden administration announced they're sending Newsom to the GOP presidential debate. Wow. That is shocking. Yeah, what a piece of shit. Thanks for the donation, though, Ben. That's pretty fucking crazy.
Says it has led, in my opinion, to this way.
Hugerian rider.
Go fuck yourself.
Of anti-female sentiment in online fitness, because naturally, most of the people within this sphere are males. There is a minority of women, so if you look at the numbers, it's up.
What's hilarious is a lot of dudes start lifting because they want to get girls, and then when it doesn't work, they start hating and getting more angry at girls.
Absolutely impossible for all of these men to get access to these women because there's not enough of them. So naturally, a lot of people within this community are sexually frustrated. And this, again, has led to what I believe was the culmination of that frustration, which was roughly a year ago. So I don't know if you remember, but a year ago, there was a viral video that was posted of a woman who accused a man of being a creep because the guy looked at her. And in reality, he only looked at her general direction. He wasn't staring. He wasn't actually being creepy at all. And yet it was enough for him to be called a creep. We all know what this guy looked like. He was average height, average looks. He was your average dude. And the issue is that women don't go for the average guy. So you just existing near the woman is an insult to the woman, because how dare you be average near me?
No, anybody who thinks like that just has an antisocial personality disorder. That's not how women think. That's just how a fucking narcissist thinks.
I deserve the cream of the crops and you are not that. And this video actually went viral because many men were looking at this thinking, wow, I can relate because I'm that guy. I'm average as well. What the fuck is this? Am I not even allowed to exist near women? I already cannot get girls. Now I can't even just look at them for 1 second. That is, of course, insanely fucked up. And there was a massive, massive pushback. The girl had to apologize. There was an entire thing going on. And I think it's because it was the boiling point of the frustration. Men were thinking that they were not even allowed to live anymore. Even in a space like the gym, which is supposed to be male-dominated, the one space where you can go and be yourself, even that wasn't there anymore because women invaded that space. They went where they did not belong. And once they did that, you became the creep because you existed near them. Or at least that's what it looked like on the surface, because in reality, and in my opinion, this whole thing was completely blown out of proportion. Most of the time by people who are looking to make a career out of it, out of the drama, like that guy named Joey Swole, who named himself the CEO of Gym Positivity. And if you listen to the guy and you listen to the people who follow him, there seems to be this global crusade against men. Men cannot be men anymore. Men are being hunted. And to some degree, I agree with that. But I think that to state that this happens globally in every single gym is an over-exaggeration. An exaggeration is taking place for one reason and one reason only. It's because this person and the other people who surfed on the wave of the drama did this because they realized that it was an easy way to get popular. It always blows my mind how quickly men are willing to run into the arms of any schmuck.
What's the best advice on making friends? Offer anybody you can blowjobs, and I'm sure they'll be willing to be your friend. I have Asperger's, kind of hard for me to socialize with people. Have you ever felt socially isolated at school? Well, I've always been socially isolated because I hate most people and they're fucking stupid. But I don't care. I don't need really... I care about quality, not quantity when it comes to friends.
Not trolling, just want to be up to date on why. What's your issue with thou shown up be thy named? The one that trolls spam you on the donations.
Troll spam me? Well, he who should not be named is a YouTuber and he's a rapist. That's why I have a problem with him. The trolls, like Cortez and 9014, they, like, 9014 hasn't done it, but Cortez sometimes mentions he who shall not be named. That's why I get annoyed. Thanks for the donation, though, Taylor. Hope that answers your question. Yeah, if you have Asperger's and you have trouble making friends or socializing, I'd recommend talking to a doctor, taking medication, getting psychotherapy. I don't know if I have a form of Asperger's or not. I've always been bad socially. Some of it's by choice. But yeah, I just haven't really ever cared about having many friends. I've gone from long periods of not having any friends and didn't really care. So I care about quality, not quantity. I'd rather be around, you know, real motherfuckers than fake asses. So yeah, but if you have Asperger's, that'd be my advice. See if some medications could take help and get psychotherapy. Do you know Gary Yourofsky? You talking with him sometime? I know him. I know of him. He's the guy who turned me vegan. I saw one of his speeches. Never talked to him directly though.
Who presents themselves as their savior. So now it's this Joey Swole guy who's really just another roid out gym bro who saw a chance to get popular quickly. And
Mike donated $2. Why do Destiny, Vosh, and Hassan not like each other anymore? Well, they're all dishonest. So when it comes to political topics, though, I think Destiny is fairly intellectually honest. Vosh and Hassan are not. So that kind of explains some of that. Hassan is also a massive idiot. So that also kind of explains why Vosh and Destiny don't like Hassan. And there's just, personality clashes, stuff like that. Thanks for the donation though, Mike.
And took it. Now I also see women doing that. So it's women making videos about male insecurity and male loneliness, saying, oh, yes, we understand it's not your fault, it's women's fault, it's society's fault, and men fall for it. They don't seem to realize that it's just actors who are using your frustration and your insecurities to recuperate them and then turn themselves into the person who is going to save you from all of that. But the problem is that they never actually do any of it. If anything, they feed your frustration because the frustration is what keeps them relevant. And again, this Joey Swoll guy who, just by the looks of him, looks like a complete fucking idiot, and yet has managed, again, to amass massive popularity off of it, has done the exact same thing. He played off of your frustrations of not being able to access women, and he vindicated your insecurities of not being high value enough for women by telling you that it was all their fault. It's not your fault, it's women, they're harpies, they're witches, you are a good guy, it's okay, you don't have to change, you don't have to improve at all, they're the ones who have to change. This is the typical masculinity guru spiel that you can hear all over YouTube and all over social media. Remove your responsibility, find an item or factor within society that explains why men are not doing so good, and then point to that and say, hey, this is what must change. You don't have to change. You don't have to look at your own masculinity. You don't have to improve at all. Of course, this is a caricature of sorts, but since these people are caricatures of masculinity itself, I don't personally perceive myself to be out of line for treating them in that fashion, especially since, as I said, all of what they're doing is just making your frustration worse. It's not actually solving anything. Because keep in mind that in reality, all of this stemmed from one random video posted by some narcissistic woman who wanted to show how badass she was. It truly was that. She wanted to look cool for social media by calling out a creep. This is something that women sometimes do, but let us not pretend that all women do that. This person in particular was just a cunt, and cunts have always existed. But to create this entire thing after that, this movement where men are supposedly being hunted and targeted, I think that this is complete bullshit. Even as someone who is a self-admitted sexist, I don't think it's fair to paint every single female lifter with the same brush. And yet, this entire movement
self-admitted
didn't actually
sexist.
kickstart anything because it fed off of an idea, it fed off of something that always existed, and that is a degree of resentment.
Did you hear that Trump is implicitly calling for the death of US General Mark Milley? He is becoming more and more evil by the day.
No, I think he's just getting more comfortable saying unhinged stupid shit. Let me take a look.
Trump's disregard for the rules of the military were clear from the very start of Milley's term.
That man above me is a patriot. That man above me is combat tested.
I'm not watching this. Boring. Thanks for the donation, though, Bend Over.
Towards females within the fitness sphere. Even if you go back 10 years, there's always been this idea that females, that women are not real lifters. They only go to the gym to distract men. They only go to the gym to sit on their phone and do nothing. They do girl workouts, aka they're not actually doing anything. They're wasting everybody's time. They're just harpies who are there to nag you, to distract you, and we would be better off without them. And this entire frustration, I believe, is also greatly strengthened by the biological differences between the two sexes. Because if you look at what a man has to do in order to look good, you're looking at years of diet, years of hard work. It's going to be very difficult. Even if you are genetically gifted, you will not just magically be jacked within 2 weeks. That is simply not possible. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to struggle. On the other hand, if you look at women, that's not the case at all. For a woman to have a good-looking body, essentially what is required of her is to be born and then to just not stuff her face. As long as a woman stays relatively in shape by not overeating, she's going.
So I don't agree with this. This is coming from his own beauty standards. They're like, everybody has their own preferences. If you're a girl and you're into like really jacked muscular guys, then yeah, a dude's probably going to have to work really hard to be attractive to her. But most women don't really fucking care that much. So as long as you have like okay muscle tone, you're not fat, you're like lean, and you just have like a good looking face and good body proportions overall, like that's not hard. So yeah, like same kind of circumstance, like, oh, you were just born good looking, all you had to do is just, not stuff your face. And I mean, there are dudes too who are really into like big tits, big asses. Like, how many fucking girls have to go to the gym to get like a big butt or get plastic surgery that's super expensive and dangerous in order to be attractive to those men? So this is kind of fucking stupid.
Going to look good, and that is one of the many injustices that separate men and women. And the reason why I call myself a sexist is because we can never be truly equal, because we're too different from both. And
sexism is basically the idea that one sex is better than the other sex. Recognizing that there's a dissimilarities between sexes is not inherently sexist.
And this difference comes from, again, biology and the nature of the tissue that makes each sex attractive. Let me explain to you what I mean by this. If you look at men, what would be a good body for a man? Well, some people would say wide shoulders, a V-taper, big arms, big chest. Okay, what is the tissue that causes that visual effect? Well, we see that it is bone, so your bone structure that you're born with, and muscles. Because even if you have the bone structure, without the muscle, you're going to look like a twig. So you have to have the muscle, which is why I call muscle struggle tissue. Struggle tissue, because you can't just have muscle. You're not born with muscle. No man is born with big biceps. You can be born with a good potential for bicep size, but unless you work, you will never see that potential. So we see that for men to actually look good, regardless of their genetics, they will need to work hard. Maybe you're one such person who believes that face is everything. Face is important, but in regards to the gym and to fitness, when it comes to actually building a body, you have to actually do that. You have to build a body. Women don't have to build anything. The building blocks are...
That is not true. There are plenty of women who kind of naturally have a flat ass, and they have to go to the gym in order to get a butt. Or, again, they have to do like plastic surgery or something, which isn't easy. Like, you have to have enough money for plastic surgery. You have to get like a good surgeon, and there's a lot of pain and suffering and recovery and risk involved. So it's not just, oh, well, you paid for it. You didn't work for it.
Already there, meaning that if men need struggle tissue to look good, women only really need leisure tissue, aka fat. If you look again at the structure and the nature of a beautiful female body, you see that immediately. What makes a woman look good? Is it muscle? No, it's bone, so the size of the pelvis, the shape of the hips, again, the width of the waist, etc. And
I don't know how we can claim muscle does not make women look good. Like, you think a woman's body shape isn't affected by her musculature? Are you fucking retarded? And again, there's plenty of dudes who have a preference for in-shape, muscular women. This guy is really friggin' dumb, man.
The fat that is on the bone, so the curves. The tits and the ass are the major culprits, but then you also have the thighs, again you have the hips. All of these are the most important things because that's what men look at when they are to determine if you look good or not as a woman. All of this spiel about biology to tell you what? To tell you that instead of your sexual frustration, are women really the problem in the gym? How often do you get bothered by a woman at the gym? I mean, let's be clear here. The number one and the worst offenders in the gym are always dudes. I've been going to gyms for the past 5 or 6 years. I've never had a problem with a girl. It's always a guy who comes and tells you that you're too noisy. It's always a guy who comes to give you advice, even though he's half your size. It's never the women. The women tend to be in and out. They just don't want to be bothered. For the most part, what I've seen is actually the exact opposite. It's usually women who get hassled by dudes. And if you have even a shred of honesty, you will recognize that. The amount of time I've seen some young chick, some young college chick, get hit on by some dude who's twice her age at the gym, too many to count. Actually, I used to know a girl, her ass was, I don't know if she had like a genetic malformation or whatever. She had the biggest ass I'd ever seen in my life. And it wasn't from training, because she always had that ass. She would get hit on several times every time she stepped into the gym. What was she supposed to do? Wear like a giant pumpkin around her waist so as to not attract the attention of men? Even if that's the case, you're still going to get hit on as a girl if you have a pretty face. So what is next? Every single woman is supposed to cover their face now? So every woman is going to show up to the gym wearing like a full beekeeper suit, you know, these suits they wear to not be stung by bees. I think you understand at some point that it's not realistic and it's not even reasonable.
All right. Hypersexualization in the media.
Opposite of that. And this is not helped by the fact that the few female influencers available out there also don't tend to speak to women for a simple reason, is because there's no money to be made here. Since the majority of people on YouTube Fitness and the internet at large are men, if you want to actually tap into the market, you're going to have to find a way to appeal to men. And as a woman, how do you appeal to men? The answer is very simple.
You play video games and look sexy.
Charms. That is how you appeal to men. And if you don't believe me, take a look at the most popular sports clips for women's sports on YouTube. Every single time, it's not going to be the champion, it's not going to be the gold medalist that gets the most views, it's going to be the girl that is sexy. It's always a thumbnail of a nice ass. You click because you want to see the ass, and the video gets 10 million views. Do women click on that? Is a woman who wants to learn how to sprint faster going to click on that? No, it's only dudes. And of course, the algorithm loves that because it gives visibility to the video.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how there's like a lot of men who complain about sexualization in the media and shit, and women taking advantage of men's sexual desire. Like, they're the ones fucking clicking on that shit. So he is right about that.
You can get more money that way, etc., etc. But this also paints a grim picture for women within online fitness spheres. It tells a very direct and simple message. If you want to make yourself visible...
What's going on, everybody? I'm Selma Kim, America's Face.
Don't even bother being relevant or intelligent. Instead, just be pretty. Just show off your ass. Go take a look at 10 fitness pages on Instagram run by women. Look at the way they take pictures. It's always the same. It's a British lady who was very unattractive, which, I mean, she was British. But it was funny back then because everyone was like, oh my God, look at her. She's so special for making it. But no one would say why she was special. And the reason why she was special was because she wasn't pretty. So she was making it off of her own merit. As a woman, it's not enough to work hard or be talented. You have to actually...
NoFap has got to be the dumbest shit in all honesty. If you're not hooking up, it should probably be done 1 to 2 times a week. It is soothing, and I get really productive after. Otherwise you just have pent up energy and it's actually anti-productive.
Well, yeah, even in the NoFap space, there's a lot of people who recognize that if you can't get laid, you should probably relieve yourself occasionally. Because, yeah, if you don't come, you can get kind of insane, and you start hyper-fixating on sex and not being able to be productive. Thanks for the donation, though, Gohan. Yeah, that's one thing that sucks being a woman. You have trouble having people taking you seriously to begin with, but even if you're really competent and good at something, like, it's still not enough. Like, you also have to be pretty.
You also have the complete package. And why is that? Well, refer back to what I said previously. Who consumes that type of content? Men. So, based on that, we can conclude 100% that the reason for hypersexualization is men. Women would not hypersexualize themselves if the system didn't reward them and if men didn't reward them with attention. And this is what I call the whore paradox. Men hate whores, but they're also the sole reason why the profession exists. Applied to the fitness sphere, both in gyms and online, this means
simping should be legal. Or maybe a more creative solution. If you simp for any girl even once, you're banned from welfare for life. No social security or retirement, health care, or food stamps.
I don't see the point in doing that. Maybe we could just tax e-girls more so that they have to redistribute wealth back to their simps. But thanks for the donation, Turbo Black Pill.
Means that women are both praised for showing off their bodies, while at the same time admonished for doing so. So in a sense, it's a lose-lose situation. Look at the amount of serious female lifters who get hate from insecure dudes for looking like men. There is a special place in my heart for these guys, these dudes who seem to derive pride from the fact that they happen to be bigger than a girl or stronger than a girl. How pathetic must you be as a dude to be proud of something that was gifted to you by nature? Of course you're bigger than her. You produce 10 times the test that she does. Your bone structure is thicker. You are literally built for that shit. Fitness. So this is not the way. Plus, usually the people who ask for inclusivity are the types of people who are not going to stick around. The exact same thing happened to the comics industry, or more and more people were coming in saying, oh, we need more diversity, we need more women, etc. And then when that happens, they never actually bought the comics, and the core audience of the comics stopped buying because the quality tanked. We don't want that happening. Work on themselves and maybe again fix some of.
Yeah, overall that wasn't a bad video. There's some stupid claims here and there, but overall it wasn't too bad. I like how he called out dumbass incels. Incels are always a good group to, you know, just make fun of. All right, Adonis School Official. So this is Hamza's, you know, copy of Andrew Tate's sort of like War Room thing, or Hustlers University. And I'm guessing these are testimonials or something like that. You'll notice immediately that all of these people are 15, so that's one thing to point out. But let's take a look at some of these. Aman spoke to Hamza, and now he has a jawline of steel. This is what you call a jawline of steel. Right.
Yeah, so my name's Aman Islam. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from the US.
Oh, he's not 15. He's 23. I wouldn't have guessed.
And I think for the most part, my struggle's always been my weight. Just because, you know, people online, they'll always say, oh, just go to the gym, just get like 1 gram of protein per body weight and stuff. And I did that. I did go to the gym. I've spent like 2 hours a day doing like push-pull legs and everything. But my problem was that when I would go to the gym, I would be mentally drained the rest of the day. And so I had to make a choice. Either I can go in the morning when I have the most motivation to go to the gym, but then my mental energy would drop the rest of the day. Or
this guy probably has low testosterone. So for one thing, he looks way younger than he really is. He looks like he's in his mid-teens, not in his early 20s. Well, he's 23. He's almost in his mid-20s. He looks about 8 years younger than he really is. And that's not fucking normal. That's not normal to have, like, you know, a mediocre workout and then have no mental or physical energy for the rest of the day. That sounds like he probably has hypogonadism. So this guy should have probably gone and seen a fucking doctor rather than fucking paid all this money for this stupid fucking course.
Or I can go later at night, but when I go at night, it would end up impacting my sleep, and my sleep would go down. And so it's like either or. I would
That makes no sense. How the fuck would training make it harder to sleep?
end up like having like negative aspects of it, and it really made me not even want to work out because it's like I feel like negatives outweighed the positives. But once I got into Adonis school, once Hamza started telling me how, you know, you're overworking yourself, your testosterone's like declining when you're pushing yourself to the max, you're doing every set to failure.
Okay, that is fucking stupid. No matter what sort of training you do, you're going to see a transient decline in testosterone. So this makes no sense. If you're training too hard, yeah, you can get some ongoing exhaustion. But what he's describing, like, he's clearly a small dude and he's not strong. The absolute loads that he's lifting would not be that fatiguing. I was training to failure and having extremely long fucking workouts when I was in high school.
That guy can afford Hamza's circle jerk school, but he can't afford a desk chair that wasn't fished out of the IKEA dumpster. Maybe focus on a career instead of sucking off internet retards.
That is probably some good advice. Thanks for the donation, Adam. Yeah, it is really weird. But like I would do extremely long workouts and every set to failure when I was in high school, and I was able to I was fine. You know, I wasn't like, oh, mentally and physically drained for the rest of the day. So he probably has low test. And again, you're going to see a transient decline in testosterone immediately after exercise. That's just normal. And it doesn't matter. Transient declines or increases don't do anything. It's when you have constant decreases or constant increases that you're actually going to be affected by it.
When I started to like take a step back, actually like value my testosterone over my like the output I'm putting into like lifting weights and stuff, I've noticed that I'm making more progress in like the last couple of months with my physique compared to like the last 2 years when I've been lifting weights.
Wow. That is bullshit. There's no way that guy was training at all with any consistency.
So, again. So, again. So, again. So, again. So, again. So, again. I am vegan gains so again. You say this sentence a lot, man. So again.
Thank you for that, Earier. Appreciate the donation. So again, this is impossible. If this guy is claiming he's made more gains in 2 months than in 2 years, he wasn't training. On average, you can expect to gain like probably around 30 pounds of muscle in the first 2 years of lifting, around there. This guy's saying that he gained more muscle in 2 months than in 2 years. He wasn't lifting. He just was not going to the gym and training. Even if your training isn't very good and it's not properly periodized, so you're just doing everything to failure, you'd still make more progress in 2 years than in 2 months of good training. So he's a liar, just like Hamza. Or he's just fucking delusional, and it's either or. He's either a fucking liar or he's fucking delusional. To me, it Could be a mix of both, honestly, too. But yeah, this is absolutely tarded. I don't know how anybody could take this seriously.
That's amazing. Let me ask you a question, right? It's interesting that you said testosterone, because I feel like 99% of all these influencers and fitness experts on YouTube, Instagram, they don't have to worry about testosterone because they're all on steroids. Like, there's an epidemic. And they tell young men to do the exact same workouts as them, which is complete nonsense most of the time.
Okay, this is pure cope. If,
How much does Hamza charge for his school?
It is $500 for the first month to sign up, and then after that, it's $100 a month. So quite a lot of money. In the first year, that would cost you, let's see, about 1,700. So quite a lot. Thanks for the donations, Sam. Appreciate it. So this is bullshit. If you're a man, you train pretty hard in the gym. So let's say you go 4 days a week, and you're training about 1 to 3 reps shy of failure, and you're feeling fucking exhausted, drained as fuck, even if you're eating well, and you're like mentally and physically fucked, there is something wrong with you. Your body isn't working right, and it's likely low testosterone. So when this guy says, oh, they're on steroids so they can train hard, no, normal men can train hard and recover from training. If you are trying to copy like Chris Jones or Matt Ogus or I don't know who the fucking Dylan McKnight or whoever the fucking, fuckboys are on YouTube right now that you're trying to copy, if you can't copy, if you're trying to copy their workouts and you're just absolutely fucked from that type of training, you probably have low testosterone. I haven't seen any natties on YouTube. So again, I don't know who all the most popular fuckboys are on YouTube that are into fitness. Who's that guy Greg kept accusing of steroids, but probably isn't? Yeah, I know. I don't watch any of these channels. Alex Eubank. If their training is not ridiculous, it is not particularly hard. Even if they're going to failure regularly, it's just not particularly hard training. So when he says, "Oh, they're all on steroids," you can tell who's natty and who's not for the most part on YouTube. Like Alex Eubank, clearly natty in my opinion. He's not a big dude. Yeah, Sam Sulik, he's clearly on fucking gear. Max Ucita, yeah, he's natty. They clearly look natty. They're like anybody could be on steroids, but they appear natty. Their strength isn't crazy. They're not doing ridiculous workouts or doing things that only make sense on steroids.
Perhaps he's running the Texas method. It is exhausting and can take over 2 hours.
There's no way. He would be running... I don't even... Like, again, this guy said he made more progress in 2 months than in 2 years. There's no way he was running the Texas method. There's no way he was even doing starting strength. He probably went to the gym like a total of 4 times and then quit. There's no way he was training. He just was not training. And even still, the absolute loads that you're lifting would be so small, especially for a guy like this who's just kind of like naturally a small guy. There's no way it would be that exhausting to where you're just physically and mentally fucked. Thanks for the donation though, Gohan. So yeah, this is just pure cope. They should be telling this guy to get his hormones checked and probably go on TRT rather than just making this cope. Oh, well, they're all on steroids. That's why you can't go to the gym and train hard.
time, because when you're enhanced and you're injecting steroids into your body, your circumstances are completely different to like some fat kid who has like low testosterone, high estrogen. And you know, if you were doing 2 hours a day, like per workout, so that's intense. How did
That is not much exercise. That's literally what is recommended in terms of vigorous exercise per day for a normal person. That is not very hard.
it feel having that realization that, you know, before Adonis School, you were following these influencers and it turns out their advice is mostly garbage? Were you disappointed? Were you like, shit, I've wasted a long time following this nonsense?
Yeah, because I'm like, I've made so much more progress in
Like, why isn't this guy telling what program he was following before?
Fuck 77,777,777,777. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for the donation, Dominique.
Well, thank you for that, Dominique. Appreciate the donation. Why isn't this guy mentioning what program he was following before? I'll tell you why. It's because he wasn't following a program. He only went to the gym a few times and then gave up.
like the 5 months I've been in Adonis School compared to like the 2 years I've been working now. So I'm like, damn, I wasted all my time following shitty advice from people who like are lying to like their audience and
You weren't even following a program, so how the fuck can you even say that?
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Hamza actually did, I think it was a post and a video where he shows, like in detail, his entire blood work. So his testosterone, his estrogen and everything. And it's a shame that not
Your testosterone and hormones are for the most part genetically determined, so I don't know how that's really a reflection of your lifestyle.
many other influencers out there do the same, because obviously they'll get caught up.
There are plenty. There are plenty of natty lifters on YouTube who've been accused of taking steroids. They go get their blood work and they have normal testosterone. It's like 500 nanograms per deciliter.
What is the Texas method?
The Texas method is a strength training program, and it was made by Mark Ripito. And he recommends running the Texas method after you've completed his other training program called Starting Strength. That's what the Texas method is. Thanks for the donation, though, Sam. Appreciate it.
Out if they do it, you know, when your testosterone's like 10 times the normal man, clearly they're using something.
Yeah, these natties have gotten blood work, and they have normal levels. They're like 500 or 600 nanograms per deciliter.
So you mentioned that you joined Adonis School, you went on Hamza's calls, and he opened your eyes. What exactly did you do when it came to your testosterone? So apart from reworking your entire workout, how did you make sure that your testosterone was at its peak, like the highest it can be?
The answer to that is nothing, because unless this guy was getting regular blood work, which he probably can't because he's in the UK, there's no way for him to know. He's just taking a guess.
He mentioned
Maybe he wasn't eating any food. If you're low body fat, you will make pretty much no gains even over 2 years. But then you start eating real food, you can gain a good amount your first few months.
He was overweight, so he was eating too much, so there's no way that's possible. He admitted he was overweight, and he started exercising to lose weight. So no. Thanks for the donation, though, Q.
living like our ancestors. You know, our ancestors, my grandfathers, my grandfather's grandfathers, their testosterone, their low testosterone for them is high testosterone for people of my generation.
100%.
And so
There's not really much evidence supporting this, by the way. The testosterone data only dates back to the 1960s, and who the fuck knows why there is this generational gap? I don't even think it's all that significant either. I have a theory it has something to do with nicotine intake. They do adjust for smoking, but it may be a difficult factor to adjust for due to secondhand smoke. So back in the night, like I think even today, I don't know if it's I think in some states they might not have changed it. You could smoke in public areas. Like normal people would be exposed to secondhand smoke so regularly because you could smoke in restaurants, you could smoke in hospitals, you could smoke in airplanes. Everybody was smoking at their desk at work. So I think it's a difficult factor to adjust for, smoking prevalence because of secondhand smoke. So I think the gap in testosterone can actually be explained by nicotine exposure.
He's started saying that, our ancestors, they weren't eating processed foods. They weren't eating carbohydrates and stuff. They were eating...
Yes, they were. And by the way, carbohydrates boost your testosterone. They lower cortisol. And lowering cortisol increases testosterone.
Check out these new racist posts from Republicans.
Let me take a look, bend over. As a Floridian, I feel so embarrassed that we let this man have power. Carlos Guillermo Smith. Ron DeSantis is fighting for a future where every Republican has the confidence to be racist. Ron DeSantis tells Glenn Beck Republicans lack the confidence to be called racist and attack critical race theory. Wow. Wow. And then he wonders why there's so many Nazis in his state. Sorry if it sounds racist, but it's not. I'm just going to say it. I don't want to live in the kind of country these illegals are coming from. Okay, I'm sorry if that sounds racist, but it's not. If people come here for a better life and they do the work and learn and respect our culture, that's fine. But if entire masses of failing countries come here without learning our language and our ways, that's a disaster. Well, sure, but I mean, that's not happening. Because they bring that failure with them, they won't lift us up, they'll pull us down. Again, I'm not xenophobic, I just want to live in a third world. Just don't want to live in a third world country. I mean, this in context with other shit he said is stupid. And I mean, there aren't masses of illegal immigrants coming here that aren't learning how to speak English. So thanks for the donation though, bend over. Yes.
Unprocessed foods, mostly.
So go back to the 1960s and look at what people were eating. People were eating like shit.
Meat
and smoking
butter,
like crazy.
Nuts, as like natural as you can get. If it doesn't grow from the ground,
dairy and butter do not boost testosterone. If anything, you'd expect it to decrease it. Really, really high saturated fat foods like that. You can see what they do to testosterone. They actually, as soon as you eat them, they cause a dip in testosterone. And it seems to be more prolonged than other macronutrients. Carbohydrate will cause a bit of a transient dip in testosterone as well. Not as much as really high saturated fat foods, and protein seems to do it the least. But anytime you eat, your testosterone is going to have a transient dip. Anytime you exercise, your testosterone is going to have a transient dip. So I don't know why this guy thinks butter in particular is a food that boosts your testosterone. Stupid. And yet, like, dairy has estrogen in it.
Find it in nature, cut it out. Cereal, you can't grow cereal, cut it out. You can't grow Cheetos, you can't grow like Snickers. Cut out everything that doesn't grow in nature and just start eating the foods that you can find naturally.
So that's stupid. Why wouldn't you consume something like protein powder? The question is whether or not the food has like value in terms of health or performance, not whether or not it exists in nature. Like most foods don't exist in nature. Like cows don't exist in nature. They're selectively bred. So what does he mean by that?
I did that, started getting more sunlight because I work from my computer desk. Like I have windows behind me.
Oh, great. So you're just going to increase your risk of skin cancer. He's lucky he's brown skinned, so he's less likely, but what does he think being in the sun is going to do?
So like, I used to like cope saying, oh, I'm getting sunlight every day because I have my windows open and shit. But you just like actually just go out, go for like half an hour walk a day, like when the sun's out, get the sunlight into your eyes. That literally sets you up for the rest of the day. Yeah. Like you're just out.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Some Andrew Huberman fucking bullshit. Yeah, the sun in your eyes activates the neurochemical dopamine pathway that boosts your testosterone in the testicles through the googly pathway. Yeah, I fucking love that horse shit.
And stuff. So like getting sunlight, eating properly, tracking my sleep. Like I have this Whoop band now. I've got this like 5 months ago. It's like the best purchase of my life because like I'm sleeping better.
So what's your testosterone? You're saying you're doing everything to boost your testosterone. What is it? Oh, right. You don't know because you never got the blood work done. You fucking jackass. These people are talking about how, oh, I'm doing so much to boost my testosterone, and they have no idea what his testosterone is at.
And like
what's
I'm
the
tracking
level?
my HRV, I'm tracking my resting heart rate. It's literally, I have like screenshots that show like my heart rate, like my resting heart rate when I started down to school, and like now, as well as my HRV. Like I've tripled my HRV.
Wow.
My resting heart. Yeah, like I can send the screenshots if you want.
Yeah, please. Let's see it.
Yeah, so let me show you.
That has nothing to do with testosterone.
So, how do I send it? Do I just like drop it in chat?
Yeah.
Any good supplements for anxiety you know of?
The only one that I know of is technically not a supplement. It would be CBD oil. Might be a supplement depending on how you look at it, but CBD oil would be the only one that I really know of. I think, like, at least in Canada, it's come down in price quite a bit. So it is a viable option. You could also just take medication. Anti-anxiety medication's pretty goddamn cheap, so that would also be an option. Thanks for the donation, though, No Name. Don't be afraid of taking meds if you need it.
So
yeah, so don't promote not Dr. Sebi in my chat.
HRV, when I first started, oh, it's ending right now. My HRV, when I first started down at school, like around end of April, beginning of May, it was averaging between like 30, 35. And my lowest, it was like 28.
Okay.
And still sending. And then I took another screenshot around like the end of August, and my HRV went up to 86. So like literally tripled my HRV in like 4 months.
Okay. Now, for anyone watching that isn't familiar with HRV, tell me what's the benefit to your life by improving this?
So, when your heart is beating, let's say your heart's beating 60 times a minute, you don't want your heartbeat to be 1 time a minute, 1 time a second.
Mike Donatillers, do you find it hilarious that incels will talk a lot of shit about women online, but will turn into the biggest simps the second a girl gives them the slightest bit of attention? Well, yeah, it's funny watching them be complete hypocrites, and it just shows you they don't. Everything they say about women is false. They clearly just have weird insecurity issues and weird, like, some weird personality issue where rather than just admitting there's something fucking wrong with them, they have to blame other people. Thanks for the donation though, Mike.
Second, like consistent heart rate, you want there to be some variance to it. So maybe one heartbeat in like 1.5 seconds, like 0.75 seconds. You want a little bit like of variability because when your heart rate is consistent, it's what's the word? Oh, I completely forgot, but it's basically
it's better.
Are you able to describe it better?
Yeah.
It's better. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. It's just people need to understand that this, because when I heard you say the change in your HRV, that's incredible. Like that's one of the best I've seen, especially in such a short amount of time, because you've not just improved physically, you've also improved like internally. Because many men, they care so much about the external features of their health, like their muscle, their height, they completely forget their organs, their cardiovascular system. I'm actually gonna share my screen.
Like, that's something weird to say because if you lose weight, start exercising, you're like a number of different metabolic parameters are going to improve.
And show. So this was you. When was this picture taken?
Literally the first week of Adonis school.
Right. And then, this is incredible. Oh my god. Like, mashallah.
Wow, you lost about 15 pounds. That's incredible. All right.
All I can say, look at that jawline. That's incredible. You had no jawline there, or maybe it was like hidden. And now you can see it like protruding out like a jawline of steel. How did it feel? Like other people's reaction?
A jawline of a normal person.
When they saw you go through this.
The black pill is the truth, it's not all that other stuff you mentioned. Incels are just best at seeing the truth because we are the victims of the truth. Just like black people know about police brutality more than other groups.
Right. Don't know if you can compare police brutality to women not wanting to go out with you, but thanks for the donation, Turbo Black Pill.
Did they notice this change? Were they blown away by it? Especially like girls and your friends and your family. How did they feel?
They, honestly, I try to be humble, but it's like, I kind of like the attention, I'm not gonna lie.
Good man.
and it's like, they're just like my family, they're always like complimenting me, saying how like my skin's looking a lot better. I just look a lot healthier.
Yeah.
And definitely getting like more attention from girls and shit. Like at my job, right? There's girls I work with at my workplace like all the time. And I talk to them and stuff, and they didn't really like pay attention as much. And now I'm noticing like they'll do like little things, bro. Like they'll like start playing with their hair while like looking at me and stuff, and like just like little details though.
Right. So yeah, bro, these girls are totally into me. Did you ask them out? Did you get any pussy? Nah, but they're like totally into me. Right. Okay. Cool story.
Like I picked up on, like they weren't like acting like before.
Definitely. This is one of the things that I always tell young men in my masculinity calls. So if anyone watching that doesn't know, the purpose of my calls is to take men from losers into top tier 1%.
Gays emasculate me. Also Sneeko, I'll not like a bitch getting knocked out.
Bradley Martin knocked down Sneeko in sparring. Well, that's obviously gonna happen. Like, these are very slow, weak, ineffectual punches, and he's just getting absolutely clobbered. Yeah, that's alpha male right there. Thanks for the donation, TT.
Like the most lethal man you can make them. And I always tell men, do not ever have any anger or frustration towards women if they don't give you attention when you're fat, lazy, or even someone that does put in some effort but isn't getting results, because why should they? If she is a genuine, high-quality, feminine woman, then she will command that you need to be a high quality masculine man. Otherwise, she's not interested in you.
Or like she just has her own set of preferences and you don't meet her preferences, you know, something like that. I think that's a bit more sensible.
So rather than bitching and moaning, take charge of your life, get things done, go find a workout program, not one that's recommended by some steroid juice heads who are trying to sell you some programs and some supplement shit. Find the type of workout that a man does like Hamza, who literally eats meat all day, fat all day, doesn't eat sugar, doesn't eat anything processed, he doesn't touch.
Yeah, so the carnivore diet is pretty well known at this point to cause hypogonadism. And that's probably due to the fact that it's extremely high in fat. And you're eating fat all day long, very high amounts of fat. And that is a macronutrient, again, that causes a prolonged transient decrease in testosterone. So if you're constantly eating like saturated fat all fucking day long, it might have an effect if you just keep like suppressing your testosterone periodically. On top of that, there's no carbohydrate in a carnivore diet. So carbohydrates lower cortisol, and by lowering cortisol, it increases testosterone. So everybody who follows a strict carnivore diet, you see this all the time, happened to Paul Saladino, happened to Sean Baker, happened to Frank Tufano. They all had bottom of the barrel, super low, rock bottom testosterone. Like they had testosterone so low it would be considered hypogonadal for an 80-year-old man.
Touch plastics at all. Someone that wants to live like our ancestors, and then you can truly allow your own like physical attraction to flourish. Because there's so many guys that I see nowadays, not just in Adonis School, but externally, who are working like 2-3 hours a day just because some bodybuilder told them to do it. And it's not about working hard. Well, it is, but it's also about working smart. Listen, Aman, thank you so much, bro. This has been really insightful, and your physical transformation, especially the jawline, is incredible. Like, you literally don't even look like...
That was dumb as hell. So basically, this guy claimed, oh man, his workout advice was so good. Didn't say what program he was following before. He couldn't even mention the program because he wasn't following a program. He claimed he made more progress in 2 months following the, Hamza's advice versus 2 years of whatever training he was doing before. That's literally impossible. So he just wasn't training, period. It looks like he was suffering from, or still is likely, suffering from hypogonadism because it is not normal for a fucking man to just be completely physically and mentally fucked just from, an hour or two of weight training per day, especially when you're talking about somebody who isn't strong, where the absolute loads you're lifting are pretty low. So just all fucking bullshit all around. Let's see. Devotion to God and himself exploded his masculinity. Oh, that sounds like a good one.
Grant, I'm 19 years old and I'm from the United States. Before Adonis School, 5 year ago, I met what is now my girlfriend. And
I love how this is the guy that they're claiming he exploded his masculinity, and he talks like this. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm from the United States, and I'm going to tell you about how I'm really masculine now. I'm really manly. I have really high testosterone, and it's because I went to the Adonis School. Like, this is pathetic.
She was definitely the more masculine figure in the relationship. She was actually the one to approach my parents and ask if she wanted to be, or if I could be her boyfriend. And she was the one to spearhead.
Oh, here we go. This guy's a closeted gay. He just doesn't realize he's gay. This dude's total homo. No, nothing wrong with being gay. This guy's just gay. I picked up on that pretty quick.
And I was happy that I was actually able to have this relationship with this girl that I really, really liked and was attracted to. I found her very beautiful, but it was a little weird. I felt off. It wasn't right.
Yeah, that's because you're gay. This is hilarious. He's gay, doesn't realize it, and doesn't understand why he feels so awkward in these relationships with women.
I had always been brought up in I've been brought up in a very more traditional family where, my father's the masculine role, he's the provider, my mother's the more feminine, she follows him and takes his guidance. So this wasn't quite what I was expecting and wasn't what I've been brought up with. And it was definitely an odd time.
How did that make you feel in terms of how your family felt with this with the girlfriend that you had being more dominant? How did your friends feel seeing you like this?
My friends actually, interestingly, were encouraging her.
Like, by the way, I don't understand why this is even a problem. If you're happy in a relationship where you're just with a dominant woman, who fucking cares? If that's not the relationship dynamic that you want and that you're comfortable with, that's cool too. But they're making it out to seem as though, like, this is just morally wrong to be with a woman who's more dominant.
To do this,
Okay.
to break the stereotypes,
Yeah.
and be the more, they didn't say the more masculine one, but to be the roles reversed, to be the more dominant one in the relationship. My parents, however, didn't really like that. Like I said before, they're more traditional. So my parents, about 2 years into the relationship, actively tried to stop us from being together, and we were actually doing long distance at the time. So she visited me, and we were living in Colorado at the time, and they saw us, I guess, kissing one time too many, and they were like, "You're done. No more."
Yeah, definitely. When your parents see you kissing a girl too much. This is so bizarre, dude. So this closeted gay guy, or guy who doesn't realize he's gay, started dating a masculine dominant woman, and then his parents saw him kissing her, and then they got triggered seeing him kiss a girl, and then tried to break them up. This is the story they decided to use to promote Hamza's stupid fucking Adonis school. This is so fucking cringe.
No more talking, no more contact, and that was definitely one of the darkest times of my life.
I can imagine. He seems like
Wow, the darkest time in his life. My parents didn't like my girlfriend. That was a dark time in my life. Oh wow, what a baby.
you really liked this girl as well. Like there was a genuine connection, because other people, other young men, they would just be like, if it was just like a casual relationship with someone that was just a casual friend, they wouldn't bother with the hassle, would they? They would just walk away. But when you genuinely connect.
Is this a good time for at work?
There was never a bad time for it to work. But thanks for the donation, Ethan, now. Appreciate it.
Connect with someone, you actively want to work to make the relationship better. And I always tell young men that when you find a partner, and if there's something about them that you don't like, it's not the fault of the partner. It's just that one habit. You don't want to change your partner. You just want them to change that one habit. So it's like never give up on the person, basically. So you took action. You mentioned that you believe in religion. You're quite dedicated, devoted to your faith, which is amazing. You liked that book, The Way of the Superior Man. And when you joined Adonis School, you attended Leon's Find Your Purpose calls, which is just to help young men understand the paths that they have in life and which is the best one for them. Talk to me about each of those things. How did it specifically help you in your struggle?
So the Adonis School has served me in a way to synthesize everything that I've learned for the past close to 2 years now from watching Hamza. I've done martial arts for a large majority of my life. I've become much more committed to my studies because of Donna's school. I have I've integrated the lessons and topics talked about in the way of the Superior Man. It's just helped everything come together and become much more clear about exactly what I'm doing.
Maui pay for the side of his allowance, which is nothing more than him giving me affection. Here you go.
All right, well, thank you for the big donation now. I appreciate that. Let's do some twerking. Been a little while. Well, I guess we did the twerk a few days ago, right? Oh, you think that kid's reading a script? He might be.
It's just helped everything come together and become much more clear about exactly what I'm doing and where I'm going.
Yeah, that is weird. If you look at his eyes, they stay focused on the screen in a weird way. Maybe he is reading off a script. I don't know. Well, dumb story either way. This is what a real fucking masculine man looks like. Hairy chest, big fucking pecs, fucking big 20-inch pythons. I gotta make the Chad vegan school to compete with Hamza's fucking Adonis school. That really just turns you into a fucking insecure fucking girly man. Alright. And I guess I'll give twerk lessons too, of course.